for a long period of time now. And this is something which is just not accepted by the BJP, and hence you see this protest continue. So this will continue. Today it is mayor elections. Tomorrow you will see on some other issue. But the real tussle is for the power of Delhi. The real tussle is for the Delhi Chief Minister's position. The real tussle is between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party Delhi unit. And the Aam Aadmi Party is a party whose parent state is that of Delhi. Yes, they have expanded to Punjab, but still, Delhi is their core. Delhi is where the party was formed. And hence BJP understands, and that's why we say that it is an ongoing tussle. Today the issue is mayor elections. Tomorrow it can be something else. But the protest, just assured, will continue.
All right, Ishwara, thank you for sharing your insights with us. The visuals there on your screens coming in from the national capital, the protest being staged by the Aam Aadmi Party as well as the BJP over the Delhi mayor election. Remember this as the process to elect the Delhi mayor was stalled for the third consecutive time at the municipal centre. All right, to the other big story that we've been tracking, the Supreme Court has dismissed the plea challenging the appointment of lawyer Victoria Gowri as the Madras High Court judge. A bench of justices hearing the plea against the appointment of Gowri. The petitioners' counsel had called for a stay in the matter by calling the case extraordinary, arguing that the material submitted to the apex court in connection with the plea shows a mindset which is not in tune with the constitution, adding that Gowri is unfit to take oath as a judge. But the Supreme Court there dismissing the plea that was filed in the top court. Remember visuals also that came in earlier today, as you can see on your screens, of Gowri being, in fact, the oath-taking ceremony which happened at the Madras High Court today. And just to tell our viewers about the observations that were made by the top court, where the top court said, how can we act on conjectures and surmises, going on to add that it is inappropriate to assume collegium hasn't taken a view. We have Executive Editor for Legal Affairs, Rhythm Bharadwaj, joining us. Rhythm, for the viewers also who are just tuning in, would you believe that this is a vindication of sorts for Gowri, and also take us through the observations made by the top court?
Justice Gowri is now the additional judge of the Madras High Court. The court earlier today heard a petition Sameeksha in which they wanted and were questioning the appointment of additional judge Justice Gowri. She's been appointed as the additional judge when the Supreme Court started hearing the matter today. Senior advocates Rajiv Ramachandran and Anandagowda Prashant Bhushan were inside the courtroom, and they stated that they believe that there are certain biases that Victoria Gowri, now judge, would be having. They also said that they believe that this case should not be heard, that her appointment should not happen. However, dismissing everything that they had stated, the court said a few things. They said we cannot act on conjectures and surmises. They said it's inappropriate to assume the collegium hasn't taken a view. They said we can't pass any order at this stage. It's not in a position to say it's a question of eligibility. The Supreme Court also said we can't direct the collegium at this stage. And they said if there is anything that she's, if she's not fine, she's an additional judge. She's not being, they will see her performance only then make her permanent. But very important points are being made by the court. When they say we will, political background may not come in the way of a judge being appointed, they've also said they cannot ask the collegium to reconsider. It's once again we've seen lobby campaign against Justice Gowri. It's been pushed by the top court.
Rhythm, stay with us, and just to continue on this point that you mentioned about this campaign against her that was being run, if you can talk to us how there was a certain narrative that was being peddled that Gowri made hate speeches and that she had a political background, how that of it comes across vis-a-vis the court observations today?
Today, the bench of Justice and Justice Gowri, who was hearing the matter, which clearly said there is going to be seen as a difference between eligibility and suitability. Justice Khanna says that extensively people with political backgrounds also being appointed. He also says the materials of the speeches from 2018 that has been put before them, the collegiate must have gone through this before recommending her name. Justice Gowri said, I also background before joining the court as a judge. I've been a judge for 20 years and my political background has not come in the way. Keeping all this in mind, the Supreme Court says it will not direct the collegiate to reconsider their recommendation on Justice Gowri. Because there have been many instances is that additional judges have not been made permanent on the basis of performance, keeping this in mind the appointment of Advocate Victoria Gowri as additional judge in Madras High Court took place today.
All right, Rhythm, thank you for sharing your insights with us. So that's the latest coming in. The Supreme Court in its observations making it very clear that we cannot pass any orders at this juncture and that it is not in a position to say that it's a question of eligibility. We cannot direct the collegium at this stage, and that asking Supreme Court to direct collegium to reconsider is unprecedented. This, of course, in the backdrop of that campaign of sorts that was being run against Victoria Gowri, which challenged the elevation of Victoria Gowri as the additional High Court judge.
Jet shots down the suspected Chinese balloon. Biden defended the decision, saying US did the right thing. Biden added that he always wanted to bring it down as soon as it was appropriate and that he was not surprised by the balloon incident.
You've known about the balloon program for some time. Has it always been your view to shoot down a Chinese spy balloon, or was it only because it became public?
Oh no, it was always my position. Once it came over into the United States from Canada, I told the Defense Department wanted to shoot it down as soon as it was appropriate. They concluded we should not shoot it down over land. It was not a serious threat, and we should wait till it got across the water.
A US fighter plane shot down the balloon on Saturday after it drifted off the east coast near the Carolinas. President Joe Biden continues to face flack from the Republican US lawmakers for waiting days to shoot down the suspected Chinese spy balloon. Agency report, Republic TV.
All right, we slip into a very short break for now, but do not go anywhere. Lots coming up, top stories and more news breaks on the other side of this very short break. Amazon removes book Modi and Me from platform, cites Hindutva themed literature as a reason. And death toll mounts to more than 4,000 in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government.
Thanks for tuning in to Republic. We're tracking the latest from Turkey and Syria, where the death toll has now risen to 4,000. And as we speak, the rescue and relief operations continue on a war footing mode. Remember, India has already dispatched the assistance, the first batch of assistance. We also given to understand that hours after the announcement of disaster relief response to earthquake hit Turkey, the Indian Army has also mobilized a field hospital to provide medical support to the affected people of Turkey. Agra-based Army Field Hospital has dispatched an 89-member medical team. We have a senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, joining us. Abhishek, if you can take us to the finer details in this, about this field hospital that has been sent to provide medical assistance to Turkey.
Well, so basically, Samiksha, we have seen NDRF is scrambling its units and flight of 100 NDRF relief personnel along with the canine squad and other relief material, drilling equipment, essentially rescue and relief material traveling with that team of about 100 personnel past midnight from Hindon Air Base. And this is different. This is the Agra-based Army Field Hospital dispatching 89-member medical team. These are doctors, paramedics traveling, and these also include critical care specialists and general surgical specialist team, medical specialists, orthopedic surgeons, all those people with equipment like X-ray machines and oxygen generation plant, other equipment which can give cardiac care. All those things with essentially what this is a 30-bedded multi-specialty hospital traveling of the Indian Army, and it has already taken off from Agra. And Samiksha, this is a tremendous upscaling of relief effort by India in support and for helping affected people of Turkey and Syria. This is, of course, traveling to Turkey, and similar relief and rescue teams would be traveling to some parts of Syria as well. That's what we are getting to hear. But as of now, already 2 aircrafts on way, or in fact, the one that traveled past midnight must have already landed in Turkey, and this one going to do that very soon. And India really coming to the aid and rescue of those affected with this huge earthquake that rocked Turkey and Syria yesterday. Samiksha.
All right, Abhishek, thank you for giving us all those details. And as we speak, situation is definitely grim in Turkey and Syria, as several are still feared trapped in the debris. Several of those buildings that have collapsed, many are still missing after 3 back-to-back earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria. For now, to a quick 1-minute report.
Biden admin recalls Mumbai's 2008 terror attack and said that the memories are still vivid in India and in US. During a presser, US spokesperson Ned Price recalls the brutality of 2008 terror attack.
The terrorist attacks that took place in 2009 in Mumbai. Of course, the memories of that are still vivid. They're still vivid here in India. They are still vivid in the United States as well.
Biden administration once again reiterated that it has been insisting that all culprits of the Mumbai terror attack must be punished. In one of the most horrific terrorist attacks in the country's history, 166 people were killed and over 300 injured, as 10 heavily armed terrorists from Pakistan created mayhem in Mumbai on November 26, 2008. A date to remember. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Adani's storm wanes, but opposition stages protest, stalls proceedings for the second time. And miffed over the possibility of losing hosting Asia Games Cup rights, Spark cricketer lashes out at India.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police. The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
Opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader.
And a roundup of news from across the globe. The death toll in Turkey and Syria has mounted to more than 3,800 after earthquakes jolted the two nations on Monday. The total number of injured in Syria and Turkey has crossed more than 15,900 following the earthquakes. At least 2,379 people were killed in Turkey itself after earthquakes jolted the southern part of the country on Monday. Meanwhile, drone footage captured the devastation wrought as a result of the three earthquakes that shattered parts of Turkey after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake wrought havoc in the southeastern part of Turkey and northern Syria. Meanwhile, US expressed deepest condolences to the people of Turkey and Syria following the earthquakes that jolted the two nations on Monday. Addressing a press briefing, a US State Department spokesperson Ned Price said that an initial assistance response is underway and that US will be sending two rescue and recovery teams to Turkey. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered to provide all possible help to the earthquake victims in Turkey. He said, and I quote, "The sympathies of the 140 crore people of India are with all earthquake-affected people. India is ready to provide all possible help to the earthquake-affected people." Meanwhile, Ukraine President Zelensky took to social media to offer a helping hand amidst the Turkey earthquake aftermath that killed more than 3,000 people. He said that the country extends its heartfelt condolences to the families of the bereaved. Fire crews are responding to a massive fire at a manufacturing facility in Chicago Heights. The fire broke out on Monday in the 1100 block of Washington Avenue in the US. Meanwhile, Pakistan former President and Chief of Army Staff General Pervez Musharraf's mortal remains arrived at the airport from the UAE on Monday. The mortal remains of Pervez Musharraf departed from the Dubai airport and landed at Karachi's airport at around 9:51 local time. Prime Minister of Pakistan Shehbaz Sharif asserted that India will not be able to look down upon his nuclear-armed nation, which has the power to pull out the enemy's evil eye and crush it under its feet. In Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, including Gilgit-Baltistan, the citizens are ruled with an iron grip and treated as if they are second-rate due to the misrule under the Pakistan regime, which is witnessing massive protests from the locals. And Chinese Foreign Ministry admitted that a balloon spotted over the skies of Latin America belongs to China. Addressing a press briefing, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that the balloon spotted over Latin America is an unmanned airship from China that is used for flight testing.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police. The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
Opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader. They are demanding the discussion on the Adani issue. That is something, the line which has been taken by the opposition leaders. Whereas the government is of the view, government stand is that they want the presidential speech to be happen, and after that, the discussion can happen in the 0 hour. The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
the architect of Kargil has been praised by a Congress leader. What do you have to say on that?
Please ask this official spokesperson of the Congress party.
But what is the line of the Congress party, sir?
You ask the chairman of the media committee.
But what do you say on this comment, sir?
Probably he was a diplomat that time.
So is it a right to phrase a man who has architected the Kargil?
You see, the point is, Congress party has never compromised with anything that is against the national interest.
But on the other hand, sir, if somebody is being praised by the Congress senior leader...
Thank you for tuning in. This is live and breaking at 1 p.m. I'm Suesha Sound. We get you all the top stories we are tracking this Tuesday afternoon. First, a quick check of the headlines. Attempt to tarnish Judge Gowri's image fails. Top court dismisses petitions.
शर्म करो, अरे लोकतंत्र की हत्या बंद करो।
Face off over mayor elections. BJP takes to the streets. Aam Aadmi Party stages counter protest. Adani storm wanes, but opposition stages protest, stalls proceedings for a second time. Amazon removes book Modi and Me from its platform, cites Hindutva-themed literature as reason.
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हमें हमारी क्रेडिट मिल रही है। राइट, ये आईसीसी का काम है।
Whiffed over the possibility of losing hosting Asia Cup rights, Pak cricketer Javed Miandad lashes out at India. Death toll mounts to more than 4,000 in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid. And the top story we are tracking for you this afternoon: the Supreme Court dismissed the plea challenging the appointment of lawyer Lakshmana Victoria Gowri as Madras High Court judge. A bench of Justices Sanjeev Khanna and B.R. Gowri were hearing the plea against the appointment of Gowri. The petitioner's counsel, senior advocate Raju Ramchandran, called for a stay in the matter by calling the case extraordinary. He argued that the material submitted to the apex court in connection with the plea shows a mindset which is not in tune with the constitution, adding that Gowri is unfit to take oath as a judge. Meanwhile, as the hearing was in progress, Victoria Gowri took oath as additional judge of the Madras High Court. And for the moment, cutting across to my colleague Varshini, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Varshini, it's a big setback to the lobby of all the attempts that they were really pushing in this case. But get us the set of details that you're picking up at this point. All right, not too sure if Varshini is still connected with us. We'll try and reconnect that audio line. But it is certainly a big win for Justice Gowri as we continue to see how protests were staged outside the Madras High Court and how there was a very purposeful attempt to tarnish her image The Supreme Court stepped in, dismissed the plea challenging the appointment of lawyer Lakshmana Victoria Gowri as the Madras High Court judge. Now, a bench of Justices Sanjeev Khanna and B.R. Gowri, who were hearing the plea against the appointment of Gowri, the petitioner's counsel, senior advocate Raju Ramachandran, called for a stay in the matter by calling the case extraordinary. He argued that the material submitted to the apex court in connection with the plea shows a mindset which is not in tune with the constitution, adding that Gowri is unfit to take oath as a judge. Meanwhile, as the hearing was in progress, Victoria Gowri took oath as additional judge of Madras High Court. On the left of your screens are those pictures and how the Supreme Court said that candidature has passed collegium. They relied on the collegium process. But really how the story is panning out, and it is the lobby versus Judge Gowri, where the lobby had challenged the elevation of Victoria Gowri. And this was a plea against Victoria Gowri, and there was a purposeful attempt to tarnish the judge's image. That has massively failed because Victoria Gowri took oath as additional judge of the Madras High Court. She is now in power despite all the obstacles, and in that bid to tarnish her image, it's a big win for Justice Gowri as Supreme Court relied on the collegium process. Ridhim Anand Bharadwaj will also be joining us shortly to give us details of all that transpired in the top court and how the lobby is still in the process of putting its own set of arguments, but it is certainly a big setback to the lobby with the Supreme Court not entertaining such petitions, and it is Victoria Gowri who has taken oath as additional judge of the Madras High Court. Varshini, I believe, is back with us on the phone line. Varshini, over to you.
Well, Savesha, please see, this is definitely a very extraordinary situation that, like how it was argued in the Supreme Court, where now, if you see the current scenario is that Victoria Gowri has sworn in as the additional judge in the Madras High Court, and at the same time there has been a great unrest in the city where the lawyers associations, particularly the All India Lawyers Union and left parties like the Communist Party, the Marxist Communist Party, they've all come to the ground to protest against her swearing in, and these are all based on the conjectures where these allegations are that she has been spreading hate speech in different social media platforms where she's been giving interviews and addressing several speeches which come under hate speeches against minority communities in the country like Christians and Muslims, and that is why this case was filed in the first place. But now we can see that the Supreme Court has dismissed this writ petition. They've dismissed the case. He's saying it's all about conjectures, and based on these conjectures they cannot give a verdict. And now if you see, the people here are also again and again trying to claim that she is not fit for this position, but if you see the greater picture here, the SC Collegium has chosen her under all these criteria that they are supposed to be chosen with.
Right. Varshini, I'm sorry I'm having to interrupt you here, but Swapnil Kothari is also with us on the phone line because, Swapnil, this really sets a precedent even in the future, and this is why Victoria Gowri's win really matters today, with the observations that the Supreme Court has made, also going on to say that they will not entertain petitions like this, also adding that they cannot act on conjectures and surmises.
Well, absolutely. The Supreme Court is making it very clear that somebody's political slant cannot be presumed to interfere in the dispensation of justice when one sits on the bench. Today, I have practiced in the United States, London and India since the past 20 years. I'm over 35 years of age. I've got 10 years of High Court practice behind me. I'm a citizen of India, and I do not have any questionable background subject to determination by the Raw and the Intelligence Bureau. That is what the criteria and the eligibility is as per the Constitution. There is nowhere is there anything prescribed that I should not be having a political slant of a particular nature. So obviously you have to go by eligibility and not by suitability. And that is exactly what the Supreme Court is stating. And it went ahead with dismissing the writ petition, and the Madras High Court went away with swearing her in. And she is the most appropriate person in the minds of the collegium system to be one of the additional judges of the Honorable Madras High Court. What befogs me and what irritates me most is that this is not just without a surround sound. The surround sound was of inappropriate remarks which were made by the Law Minister, by the Vice President of India against the collegium system. When that did not work and when Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul gave a final ultimatum saying that if you do not approve, we shall go ahead with our own recommendations that we have recommended and we shall finish off, complete the swearing in. That is the time the centre stepped in and immediately started, approving the recommendations. Now there is a bench strength of 34. We've got 32 judges in the Supreme Court. With that surround sound, this writ petition was in that backdrop trying to attack the collegium system. It was not an attack on Victoria Gowri. It was basically an attack on the collegium system where they found some sort of a loophole or an assumed loophole that she had some sort of a political slant which would come in the way of interference of the dispensation of justice. I mean, how absurd can it be that when it's today, if I write an article praising Narendra Modi in a leading newspaper, or say if I talk praising Narendra Modi on Republic TV, that is going to go against me for becoming a judge just because, so that means I'm going to give rulings in favor of the people or the petitioners or the litigants who love Narendra Modi and who favor the BJP? How absurd can that be? By that token, every single judge should not be sitting there at all on the bench because each judge, from what I know, has some sort of a predilection.
Absolutely. Swapnil, I want to thank you for speaking to us this afternoon. We move on and play out this 1-minute report.
3, 2, 1, lift off.
SpaceX successfully launched the Hispasat Amazonas Nexus mission satellite on Monday evening. This after the satellite launch was delayed on Sunday because of inclement weather. The satellite was launched at 8:32 p.m. from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida on Monday. In a matter of 8 minutes after liftoff, the Falcon 9's first stage landed on a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. It will provide a coverage for North America, the North and South Atlantic corridors, and the Greenland. According to Hispasat, a communication company based in Spain, the rocket reached a speed exceeding 16,757 miles per hour while at an altitude of more than 104 miles before the start of the second stage engine. Also on board is a high bandwidth protected communication transponder for the US Space Force. Agency report, Republic TV.
And shifting our focus to these pictures that are coming in from Kerala, where BJP Yuva Morcha is staging a protest against budget hike on fuel prices. And you see water cannons are being used there to stop the protesters in escalating this. Ashwin is joining us on the broadcast. Ashwin, very dramatic pictures coming in, and the protest is against the state budget. Give us details of what's happening there.
Well, what you can see behind me is the BJP Yuva Morcha taking out a protest against the budget, and the Yuva Morcha has taken this protest after the budget. The KN Balagopal and the finance minister has announced that there will be a ₹2 increase in hike in both petrol and diesel. Over and above, they've also stated that every vehicle that will be bought, including two-wheelers, will have an additional cess of 1%. On top of that, the water prices have also been increased, which essentially would mean that a person who used to pay about 50 rupees for water will now have to pay 350 rupees. So that is a kind of price hike that is witnessed. So because of this, the BJP has also announced large-scale protests across the state, and now the Yuva Morcha is taking out this protest outside the Kerala Legislative Assembly while the budget discussions are going on. And these are the visuals that are coming from outside the Legislative Assembly. In a short while, protest has been going on for almost 20 minutes right now. They burned the effigies of all the cabinet ministers. They are also likely to use tear gas in a moment from now. But the Yuva Morcha workers have not been flinching. They have been standing ground. They have been trying to cross the barricade, is what we see. At the same time, what we can see is that this protest has been going on for almost 15-20 minutes. They have been the main focus has been that BJP Yuva Morcha has been stating that the price hike must not happen because this will lead to a serious level of inflation in Kerala. At the moment, if this price hike comes into picture, which would essentially mean a petrol will cost almost 109 rupees in Kerala, which will be the highest in the country, and this is something which will eventually lead to a kind of an inflation price hikes will definitely be witnessed. Now, what is interesting to note also is that on one side, the Kerala has kept rupees 2,000 crores aside to beat inflation, and on the other side, we see there's a rupees 2 increase in petrol, and as per the document, they say the new increase in hike will bring in an extra revenue of rupees 750 crores. But so the entire argument that has been put by the government has now been what we're seeing as a large-scale protest both by the BJP and Congress inside the assembly. In fact, 4 of the Congress MLAs are also taking out their satyagraha inside the premises, and outside the BJP Yuva Morcha is taking out this protest. Interestingly, they are not relenting to it. It would mean that in a few moments from now, police would probably resort to even using tear gas, because almost 7 rounds of water cannons have already been done. In a short while, they could even use water cannons and even use lathi charge if need be. But the Yuva Morcha members are, even the president of the Yuva Morcha is right here, leading the entire protest. Just outside, just for 200 meters away, is the entrance of the Kerala Legislative Assembly. So what we see here is a relentless protest that has been taken out, and the police are standing guard outside the assembly. The Yuva Morcha members are trying to barge into the barricade. They're trying to break open the barricade. Now, this is the 9th round. In fact, this is the 9th round of water cannons that are being used. Let's go closer and see what is going to happen. In all likelihood, the police is going to use lathi charge on these members, as well as probably will use tear gas for ensuring that the Yuva Morcha members split from this particular from the place of protest. So here are the visuals that are coming in from outside Thiruvananthapuram. The BJP Yuva Morcha is taking this protest against the budget hike that has been proposed, rupees 2 increase, which will definitely lead to a kind of inflation in Kerala. At the moment, the kind of regulations that has been brought in, the kind of reforms that the present government is trying to bring in terms of increasing revenue, is that they increase the prices of fuel, they increase the cess on vehicles, they increase the cost on water. So all this have definitely will have a overalling big impact on the price rise in the state as well. And this is the reason why BJP has called it. This is a kind of a tax terrorism that is happening, and now this protest has been going on. And this is in fact after the budget proposal was done on February 3rd. Now it's been almost 3 days, and the protest is not dying down. In fact, within the CPM itself, there has been voices which saying that rupees 2 increase is definitely not for the good of the people. However, the cabinet ministers, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, and including the finance minister, is actually blaming the centre for this kind of situation. What they claim is that the centre has not given them the rightful fund to the states, because of which the state is facing a huge financial crunch. However, the RBI report, in fact, had shown, which had come out recently, had stated that the Kerala debt is almost the GSDP versus the debt is almost 39.1%, which is one of the highest. So there has already been a large-scale borrowing by the state, and the RBI is also trying to control and put in some kind of checks and balances to ensure that the Kerala government is not spending unnecessarily. But that has now been used by the state government, stating that the government is trying to control and trying to put impediment by not giving the right funds to them. So this is what is happening. Now you can see the Yuva Morcha members are using the sticks, which they're throwing these lathis, they're throwing these sticks onto the police vehicles. And the protest is right now still ongoing. The police has been maintaining restraint. Other than water cannons, they have not used any other brute force. But now we see they've announced that they'll be using tear gas in a short while from now. Okay, tear gas has been used. Tear gas has been used. Right now you can see the tear gas is right there. It has been used. And yeah, these kind of, this is 2 rounds of tear gas have been used against the protesters, but it has been thrown against, right in the place where the media is standing, not against the protesters. So what we see here is, an intense conflict that is happening, in Thiruvananthapuram outside the Legislative Assembly. So dramatic visuals that are coming in, 2 rounds of tear gas has been used. Now we need to again wait and see whether this entire conflict will escalate. At the moment, what you can see behind me, the Yuva Morcha members are relentless. They are continuing their protest. They are continuing the stir. Slowly you can see the police are coming in with the shield. Let's probably go closer and see. And if we have the effect of the tear gas is there on both the cameraman and the reporter. Both of us are trying to wade through this, get a close-up picture of it for our viewers. But the protest by the Yuva Morcha is intensifying at the moment, is what we can say. On the other side, we can see the police has come closer with the shield and the lathis. Some of the Yuva Morcha members are actually a little nauseated, and the police is right now talking to them, trying to say that they need to withdraw back, this protest must stop. And there's a kind of a situation. We see a intense drama right now going on. There is a negotiation that is going on, but some of the members of the Yuva Morcha are also here. They're trying to speak. Now Praful Krishna, who's here, he's the president of the Yuva Morcha. He's trying to state that they will continue with the protest. They are talking to the police, but some of the members of the Yuva Morcha is here. One of them is injured. The police is used 2 rounds of water cannons. 9 rounds of water cannons and 2 rounds of tear gas have been used, and there's an intense conflict that is going on. Let's probably. The protest, they are demanding that they have the right to protest. They have the right to protest peacefully. Let them. But now we see there's a police shield right now trying to stop the protesters from going in. Now they're saying, "Do not push us, do not shove us." And these are the kind of protests. There's a BJP Yuva Morcha president is here. There is an intense drama that is going on, intense conflict that is going on over here. All we can say right now, whether this conflict will escalate or will it be subdued, is what needs to be seen. However, the road outside, the approach road to the Kerala Legislative Assembly is already there is intense conflict. The police is trying to tell them to go back, and the Yuva Morcha members are slowly retreating back. The president of the Yuva Morcha is also here. They're telling the members to go back. They're telling the members to go back.
Remain here. Yeah.
Want to say something?
Yeah, the Kerala police, they are very brutal. Very brutal attack against.
Are you planning to continue this?
Yeah. We have blocked the road, and the police is saying arrest Yuva Morcha people. Okay. We are not threatening that comments. Okay. We are strongly continue our registration.
Okay. So that is the president of the BJP Yuva Morcha, Praful Krishna, stating that they will continue the agitation. They are going to block the road. So okay, Rona. Yes, so this is what we see now. The members of the Yuva Morcha have intensified. They have gone onto the road. They blocked one of the main road, which is next to the Palayam. It's a main approach road. So we see intense protest drama going on over here. The members of the Yuva Morcha have blocked the road. As you can see, the vehicles are being diverted from the other side. On one side of the road, they have blocked it. They are continuing this stir. Now, essentially, the kind of the protest is only because of the kind of the announcements that has been made by the state government. In the budget, the state government has stated that they will increase the fuel price, both of diesel and petrol. by ₹2. On top of that, there is a vehicle cess that has already been included, which essentially means, and even in the cess they have stated, any vehicle which is in the price group of ₹5 to 15 lakhs, the cess is 2%. So all this has now been stated to be a problem for the middlemen. The middle class has been thoroughly affected by this kind of a price hike. Additionally, the kind of increase in the water is also being questioned. So essentially, this kind of particular budget that has come forward, in all likelihood, is going to bring in inflation, and that is the reason why the BJP and the Congress has been taking on to the road as well. Remember, a few months ago when the center had when the center had raised the petrol price, at that time Finance Minister had made a very big claim. Kerala will be one state which will never allow any kind of a price hike to happen. Followed by that, eventually center even brought down the fuel prices by 5 to 10 rupees, varying different states. But even then, that benefit which the center brought down, that was not passed on by the state, and the state even then refused to reduce the price. Now on top of that, they put an additional cess of ₹2, which essentially means Keralites will be paying the highest ever fuel prices in the country, and in a state like Kerala, which has seen a consecutive disasters, whether it is the 2 years of consecutive flooding, before that the Nipah.
Death toll from 7.8 magnitude earthquake that rocked Turkey and Syria rises to more than 4,000. The total number of injured in Syria and Turkey has reached 15,914 following the earthquakes. From US and Europe to India, global powers have come forward to extend aid to Turkey and Syria.
I would like to start today by echoing the President and the Secretary and expressing our deepest condolences to the people of Turkey and Syria following the devastating earthquakes in Kahramanmaraş and southeastern Turkey. The Department of State is in close contact with our Turkish allies and our humanitarian partners, and our initial assistance response is already underway.
Syria has requested United Nations member states and international organizations to help and support the efforts made by the Syrian government in facing the repercussions of the devastating earthquake. Agency report, Republic TV.
And we are slipping into a very short commercial break. On the other side, we'll get you more as we show you these pictures of the Congress staging protests over the Adani issue. Do stay tuned.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police. The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader. They are demanding the discussion on the Adani issue. That is something, the line which has been taken by the opposition leaders. Whereas the government is of the view, government stand is that they want the presidential speech to be happen, and after that, the discussion can happen in the 0 hour. The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings.
In a serial accident in Bengaluru last evening on Rupatunga Road, 2 people were mauled to death on the spot, and 4 others were injured by a car which was bearing the pass of BJP MLA Hartal Halappa. This car belongs to Ramu Suresh, who is the relative of Hartalu Halappa, and their in-laws as well, who is a forest officer and he is retired now, has already been called in for questioning, and the driver has been arrested and taken into custody.
Good afternoon. This is live and breaking at 1:30. I'm Suesha Savan joining you live, and we get you dramatic pictures from various parts of the country, where at one end in Kerala, it is the BJP staging protests against the Kerala government. The Congress continues to raise its voice over the Adani controversy this even as the centre has agreed to have a discussion on it. That and much more that's happening this afternoon. Let's take a quick check of the headlines. Attempt to tarnish Judge Gowri's image fails. Top court dismisses petitions.
अरे लोकतंत्र की हत्या बंद करो, लोकतंत्र की हत्या बंद करो.
Face off over mayor elections. BJP takes to the streets. Aam Aadmi Party stages counter protest.
We want justice. We want justice.
Adani storm wanes, but opposition stages protest, stalls proceedings for the second straight day.
मैं तो पहले भी कहते थे नहीं आज तो भाड़ में जाए, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हमें हमारी क्रिकेट मिल रही है. ये आईसीसी का काम है.
Lift over the possibility of losing hosting Asia Cup rights. Pakistan cricketer Javed Miandad lashes out at India. Death toll mounts to more than 4,000 in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid. And yes, while the tussle between the BCCI and the Pakistan Cricket Board just refuses to die down, the BCCI has made it very clear that India is not willing to travel to Pakistan for the 2023 edition of the Asia Cup. And in reply, the PCB has continuously threatened that Pakistan will boycott the event. In the latest twist, former Pakistan cricketer Javed Miandad has lashed out against India. Listen to what he said.
तो पहले भी कहते थे नहीं आज तो भाड़ में जाए, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, हमें हमारी क्रिकेट मिल रही है। राइट, ये आईसीसी का काम है। अगर ये चीज अगर आईसीसी कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकती तो फिर गवर्निंग बॉडी का कोई काम नहीं आईसीसी का। राइट, आईसीसी को चाहिए कि रूल फॉर एवरी सारी कंट्री के लिए एक होना चाहिए। अगर ऐसी टीमें नहीं आती जितनी भी स्ट्रांग हो, आप उसको डिबाट कर बात करें उसका। पर इंडिया होगा अपने लिए होगा, हमारे लिए या दुनिया के लिए नहीं है, पाकिस्तान के लिए नहीं है। आओ खेलो, खेलते क्यों नहीं है, भागते। उनकी मुसीबत हो जाती है जब भागते तो।
पद को हटाकर कर्तव्य पद किया गया। आज 7 रेस कोर्स को हटाकर अगर लोक कल्याण मार्ग किया तो पूरे देश के लोगों ने उसको अप्रिशिएट किया। आज हम लोग देखें कि चित्तौड़ का दुर्ग जो मीरा, पन्ना और पद्मावती का एक गौरवशाली इतिहास जुड़ा है, जहां से विश्व प्रसिद्ध दुर्ग है, जहां की गौरवशाली गाथाएं हैं, जहां हम लोग देखें कि दुनिया में मीरा से बड़ा भक्ति में बड़ा कोई आइकॉन नहीं हो सकता। हम पद्मावती के बलिदान से बड़ा कोई बलिदान नहीं मान सकते। और हम लोगों ने देखा है कि वहां वर्षों पहले एक आक्रांता अलाउद्दीन खिलजी आया था और एक पत्थर का शिलालेख लिखा था जिसमें लिखा गया कि उनको आईने में दिखाया गया। कुछ लोगों ने अकबर आईने में और कुछ गलत लोगों ने उस समय वो दिखा दिया गया। लेकिन सच्चाई ये है, और देश के सब लोगों ने, और मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं प्रधानमंत्री जी का और माननीय मंत्री जी का आपका, कि जिस महिला ने अपनी सतीत्व की रक्षा के लिए अपने प्राणों की आहुति, सतीत्व की रक्षा के लिए, कौन महिला होगी? ऐसा उदाहरण है। हम कभी सती प्रथा का पक्ष नहीं करते। और अरे वो जौहर था, जौहर, अरे वो जौहर था। आप शायद इसमें
प्लीज
आप शायद हिंदी समझ में नहीं आ रही होगी। वो जौहर था।
बोले कंटिन्यूस कीजिए।
मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं। मैं देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद
जोर के मामले में बोला है। प्लीज बैठिए।
देश में वर्षों पुरानी हमारी जो मांग थी,
जोर के बारे में बोला है,
पुरानी जो हमारी मांग थी,
जोर के बारे में बोला, ठीक है।
जो गलतियां थी वो हमारे संस्कृति मंत्रालय से ठीक हुई है। और मैं किसान का अध्यक्ष जी, मैं किसान का बेटा हूं और जिस भाषा में वहां के लोगों से बात करता हूं, भाषण करता हूं, उसी भाषा का उपयोग करता हूं।
मैं एग्जामिन करूंगा, मैंने आपको बोल दिया। प्लीज
अध्यक्ष जी, हमारे लिए नेशन फर्स्ट है और मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं, जिन्होंने कहा, और हमने शुरू से सुना है, रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन नहीं जाए। और उन्होंने जो संकल्पना ली थी कि आज उन्होंने तिरंगा यात्रा में, वहां एक तिरंगा यात्रा में गए थे आदरणीय मुरली मनोहर जी जोशी के साथ, तब देखा था कि धारा 370 और 35 से हटे वहां के लोगों को अरे जहां हुए बलिदान मुखर्जी वो कश्मीर हमारा है, जो कश्मीर हमारा है वो सारा का सारा है। और इसीलिए लोगों ने कहा कि वहां जलजला मच जाएगा। लेकिन जब 56 इंच के सीने वाला प्रधानमंत्री हो और आदरणीय अमित शाह जी जैसा गृह मंत्री हो और रक्त की एक बूंद भी नहीं बहती है और वहां से आतंकवादियों के सीने में तिरंगा गोप कर धारा 370 को हटाया जाता है, तब हमें गर्व होता है। मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करने से पहले सिटीजन अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, नागरिकता संशोधन कानून, आपको दर्द होना चाहिए। जब मैं विस्थापित कैंप में, बस 1 मिनट में समाप्त कर रहा हूं, उस कैंप में गया, नेहरू लिया का समझौता किसने किया था? किसने कहा था कि उस देश में जो पीड़ित होंगे वो हिंदुस्तान आएंगे, तब उनकी सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी यहां की सरकार की होगी। आज मैं उस कैंप में गया तो एक परिवार ने, वहां हम लोग भी गए तो रूह कांप गई, हमारे रोंगटे खड़े हो गए। उससे कहा कि एक परिवार में 16 लोग थे, पाकिस्तान में उस पूरे घर को लोगों ने, जाहिदियों ने घेर लिया, हाथ में हथियार थे। तब परिवार की एक सबसे छोटी बच्ची आई, एक टेबल को उठाकर अपने परिवार के मुखिया के सामने रख दिया और फिर गई, कोने से तलवार को उठाकर लाई और बाबा को दिया कि बाबा हम सब महिलाओं को गला रेत कर मार डालिए, न तो ये आतंकवादी ये भेड़िए हमारी असमत लूट डालेंगे जब वो ऐसे हालात में कोई घर जमीन सब कुछ छोड़ के हिंदुस्तान आता है, तब उनको नागरिकता देने के लिए आप लोग विरोध करते हो। तब हमें लगता है कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, हमारे गृह मंत्री जी ने अच्छा निर्णय किया। तब देश की जनता कहती है मोदी जी है तो मुमकिन है और अमित शाह जी है तो यकीन है। और दुनिया ने युद्ध दिया, हमने दुनिया को बुद्ध दिया। मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं अध्यक्ष जी, मैं अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं। मैं अपनी बात को विराम करने से पहले एक सुरक्षित है जनहित, सुरक्षित है जनहित, सुरक्षित है देश की सीमा, क्योंकि पहरेदारी कर रहा है 56 इंच का सीना, क्योंकि पहरेदारी कर रहा है 56 इंच का सीना। माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, आपने मुझे बोलने का अवसर दिया, इसके लिए मैं हृदय की गहराई से आभार प्रकट करता हूं। यही कहते हुए देता हूं मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम। जय श्री राम।
माननीय सदस्यगण, राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर जिन माननीय सदस्यों के संशोधन परिचालित किए गए हैं, यदि वह अपने संशोधनों को प्रस्तुत करने के इच्छुक हैं, 15 मिनट के भीतर सभा पटल पर अपनी पर्चियां भेज सकते हैं, जिसमें उन संशोधनों की क्रम संख्या दर्शाई गई है जिन्हें वो प्रस्तुत करना चाहते हैं। केवल उन संशोधनों को ही प्रस्तुत किया समझा जाएगा जिनके संबंध में पर्चियां विनिर्दिष्ट समय के भीतर सभा पटल पर रखी जाएगी। इस प्रकार प्रस्तुत किए गए संशोधन
While we align with the statement made by the distinguished permanent representative of Cuba on behalf of Group of 77, I am constrained to take floor to respond to the frivolous remarks made by representative of Pakistan against my country. While such statements deserve our sympathy for a mindset which repeatedly utters falsehood, it is important for me to set the record straight. Irrespective of what the representative of Pakistan believes or covets, the entire Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh were, are, and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. We expect nothing new from this delegation that harbors a deep sense of insecurity and orchestrated hatred for India and our secular credentials and values that my country stands for.
All right, a quick roundup of news and brief from across the globe. The death toll in Turkey and Syria has crossed more than 4,000, which jolted the two nations on Monday. The total number of those injured in both the countries is more than 15,900 mark following the earthquakes. At least 2,379 people were killed in Turkey itself. Meanwhile, drone footage captured the aftermath of the devastation caused as a result of the earthquakes. Remember, powerful earthquake of 7.8 magnitude wrought havoc in the southeastern region of Turkey and northern Syria. The US, meanwhile, expressed deepest condolences to the people of Turkey and Syria following the earthquakes that jolted the two nations on Monday. Addressing a press briefing, US State Department spokesperson said initial assistance response is underway and that US would be sending two rescue and recovery teams to Turkey. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered to provide all possible assistance to the earthquake victims in Turkey, adding that the sympathies of the 140 crore people of India are with all earthquake-affected people. Ukraine President Zelensky took to Twitter to offer a helping hand amidst the Turkey earthquake that has killed over 4,000 people, saying that Ukraine extends condolences to the bereaved families. 5 crews responding to a massive fire at a manufacturing facility in Chicago Heights. The fire broke out on Monday in the 1100th block of the Washington Avenue. The facility is completely engulfed in flames and has spread to adjacent buildings as well. Meanwhile, Pakistan former President and Chief of Army Staff General Pervez Musharraf's mortal remains arrived in Karachi's Jinnah International Airport at around 9:51 p.m. local time. Prime Minister of Pakistan Shehbaz Sharif asserted that India will not be able to look down upon his nuclear-armed nation, which has the power to pull out the enemy's evil eye and crush it under its feet. Meanwhile, a very short break, but on the other side, face-off over mayor election continues. BJP takes to streets, AAP stages counter-protest. Death toll mounts to more than 4,000 in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
Opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader. They are demanding the discussion on the Adani issue. That is something, the line which has been taken by the opposition leaders. Whereas the government is of the view, government stand is that they want the presidential speech to be happen, and after that, the discussion can happen in the 0 hour. The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
The dramatic.
All right, cutting across to the live visuals that are coming in of the rescue relief operations taking place in Turkey as we speak, and the latest information that is just trickling in. Fifth earthquake of magnitude 5.4 has jolted eastern Turkey region as the country continues to grapple with the widespread devastation and deaths amid the death toll nearing the 5,000 mark. So the visuals there coming in right now of the rescue relief teams arriving in Turkey as we speak. The death toll we are given to understand is nearing the 5,000 mark in Turkey and Syria. Remember, hours after announcing disaster relief response to earthquake hit Turkey, the Indian Army has already mobilized a field hospital to provide medical assistance to Turkey in the regions affected. In fact, it's an Agra-based Army field hospital that has dispatched 89-member medical team to Turkey as we speak. So while the death toll is said to be nearing the 5,000 mark, fifth earthquake of magnitude 5.4 has jolted the eastern Turkey region as the country still continues to grapple with the aftermath of the devastation that has been caused as a result of the back-to-back earthquakes in the last 24 hours. And the visuals are on your screens of the second Indian aircraft reaching Turkey as we speak. So all possible help there being rendered by the countries, including India. It's the second aircraft being sent that has arrived in Turkey to provide all the necessary assistance. But the latest information that is just trickling in, earthquake of magnitude 5.4 that has jolted the Turkey region. It's a southeastern region in Turkey where the earthquake of magnitude 5.4 has jolted the region. The death toll we are given to understand is nearing the 5,000 mark as we speak, while the rescue and relief operations continue at a war footing mode as we speak. Also, remember the first Indian C-17 flight with more than 50 NDRF personnel had arrived just a couple of hours back in Turkey to provide the necessary medical assistance to the country.
3, 2, 1, lift off.
SpaceX successfully launched the Hispasat Amazonas Nexus mission satellite on Monday evening. This after the satellite launch was delayed on Sunday because of inclement weather. The satellite was launched at 8:32 p.m. from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida on Monday. In a matter of 8 minutes after liftoff, the Falcon 9's first stage landed on a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. It will provide a coverage for North America, the North and South Atlantic corridors, and the Greenland. According to Hispasat, a communication company based in Spain, the rocket reached a speed exceeding 16,757 miles per hour while at an altitude of more than 104 miles before the start of the second stage engine. Also on board is a high bandwidth protected communication transponder for the US Space Force. Agency report, Republic TV.
A very short break. On the other side, we'll get you the latest as the attempt to tarnish Judge Gowri's image fails. Top court dismisses petitions. And face-off over mayor elections continues. The BJP takes to streets. AAP stages counter-protest.
Opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader. They are demanding the discussion on the Adani issue. That is something, the line which has been taken by the opposition leaders. Whereas the government is of the view, government stand is that they want the presidential speech to be happen, and after that, the discussion can happen in the 0 hour. The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
are the dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
First Indian C-17 flight with more than 50 NDRF search and rescue personnel, especially the trained dog squads, drilling machines, relief material, medicines and other necessary utilities and equipment reached Turkey's city's second plane has also reached Turkey. Meanwhile, BJP staged a massive protest outside the AAP office against the disruption for the mayor election. The AAP also staged a counter-protest outside the BJP office. Amid the logjam over the Adani Hindenburg issue, opposition parties except the Aam Aadmi Party decided to participate in the parliamentary debates. A meeting of like-minded opposition parties' floor leaders was held at the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge's office to decide the day's strategy regarding the demand for a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani matter. Senior Congress leader Balasaheb Thorat resigned as a Congress legislature party leader today. Thorat tendered his resignation after a rift ensued between him and his state president Nana Patole after the Nashik Legislative Council elections. Mumbai police and other agencies at Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport were put on alert after receiving a threat call on Monday. According to Mumbai police, the caller introduced himself as Irfan Ahmed Sheikh and as a member of terror outfit. Police officials meanwhile further asserted that a case has been filed and the probe is underway. Supreme Court dismissed plea against appointment of Advocate Victoria Gowri as Madras High Court additional judge. The Supreme Court dismissed the petition challenging the appointment of Victoria Gowri as additional judge of the Madras High Court. The Supreme Court said that they won't entertain such petitions. Another setback came in for Rana Ayub. Her plea to quash proceedings in special PMLA court in Ghaziabad has been dismissed. Rana Ayub had earlier challenged the proceedings initiated by PMLA court in Ghaziabad in a money laundering case. Even as the Mantar government acts tough on child marriage menace, there's the political galore around it continues. The AIUDF's Ajmal has now alleged religious discrimination, calling it a move to harass Muslims.
हो सकता है कि मेरे बार बार बोलने के ऊपर उनको ध्यान आया, अरे ये तो एक मौका है मुसलमान लोग को सताने का, मैं सबको पकड़ के जेल में डाल दूंगा। ये तरीका नहीं होता है, एक चीफ मिनिस्टर का ये तरीका नहीं है। उनको अगर एडवर्टाइजिंग लेना है तो उनके लिए बहुत कुछ दूसरा चमक लेने के लिए उनके पास मौका है, वो मुस्लिम दुश्मनी को छोड़ दें।
Slipping into a very short break, but top stories coming up on the other side. Face-off over mayor election continues. BJP takes to street. AAP stages counter-protest. And death toll nears 5,000 mark in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Very good afternoon. This is live and breaking at 2 p.m. I'm Suesha Savan, joining you from the Delhi newsroom. We get you all the top stories we are tracking this Tuesday afternoon. First, a quick check of the headlines at the Sun. Attempt to tarnish Judge Gowri's image fails. Top court dismisses petitions. Rahul stokes fresh controversy, insults Yogi Adityanath, calling him a thug. It is a big setback to Vadra Congress in Maharashtra. Bala Sahib Thorat walks out. Face off over mayor elections. BJP takes to the streets. Aam Aadmi Party stages counter protest. Adani's storm wanes, but opposition stages a protest, stalls proceedings for the second straight day. More than 5,000 in Turkey and Syria. India sends humanitarian aid. And yes, Rahul Gandhi has stoked yet another controversy. He's gone on to attack UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. He said that no religion talks about spreading hate. Rahul Gandhi has accused the BJP of indulging in adharam in Uttar Pradesh. He said that Yogi Adityanath cannot be a religious leader for the language he uses. He's called him a thug. Rahul Gandhi has alleged that Adityanath was insulting the history of Gorakhnath Mutt, I beg your pardon, by the kind of language he was using. Now, several reactions that are coming into this. Let's listen in to what Yogi Adityanath has said.
देखिए, वो राहुल गांधी जी की राजनीति है
और हर चीज़ पे मेरे यहाँ पर खड़े होकर जवाब देने की ज़रूरत है नहीं। और कई लोग मेरे लिए इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि मैं उनकी हर चीज़ पे जवाब दूँ। मेरा मानना है कि मेरे को अपनी पार्टी के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, उनकी पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, और किस तरीके से देश आगे बढ़े उसके बारे में बात करनी चाहिए। 140 करोड़ लोग हैं इस देश में, अगर सबके बारे में बात करना शुरू करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे। देखिए, वो राहुल गांधी जी की राजनीति है और हर चीज़ पे मेरे यहाँ पर खड़े होकर जवाब देने की ज़रूरत है नहीं। और कई लोग मेरे लिए इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि मैं उनकी हर चीज़ पे जवाब दूँ। मेरा मानना है कि मेरे को अपनी पार्टी के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, उनकी पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, और किस तरीके से देश आगे बढ़े उसके बारे में बात करनी चाहिए। 140 करोड़ लोग हैं इस देश में, अगर सबके बारे में बात करना शुरू करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे।
So this is how the BJP is now reacting as Rahul Gandhi has gone on to attack Yogi Adityanath. He's said that no religion talks about spreading hate. He's accused the BJP of indulging in adharam in Uttar Pradesh. Yogi Adityanath uses unparliamentary language is what Rahul Gandhi has said, and he's also gone on to add that no religious leader uses such language. In fact, he's also alleged that Yogi Adityanath was insulting the history of Gorakhnath Mutt by the kind of language he was using. Rahul Gandhi has called him a thug, a comment that has infuriated the Seer community. Anila Singh is now with me on the phone line. Good afternoon to you, Anila. Your reaction to what Rahul Gandhi has said? Anila Singh, if you can hear me, your response to what Rahul Gandhi has said against Yogi Adityanath.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So
yes, you are.
I have come to know, what I have come to know is that Rahul Gandhi ji has said that Yogi ji is thug, isn't it?
Yes.
So this is what I am saying, that he should get himself checked in a mental institute. If he says that Yogi ji is a thug, this shows his hatred for Bhagwa. Yogi ji is a Bhagwadhari, a chief minister who has dedicated his life for the UP. He is doing such a fantastic job. Whole of the world is recognizing his work. No crime, only development. And if he thinks any person who is doing development and he is wiping off all crime in Uttar Pradesh and he is calling him thug, so this shows his mindset. He should check with some psychiatrist.
Anila, also the very fact that the Seer community is infuriated over this comment that has been made by Rahul Gandhi, you think he should come down and apologize for what he said?
Absolutely. And I think an FIR should be lodged against Rahul Gandhi, the way he has talked about the Yogi Adityanath ji. This shows his hatred for Bhagwa, I'll say. Not for a person, because everybody is appreciating Yogi Adityanath ji's job. Perhaps he is feeling very jealous. He is the person who ran away from Uttar Pradesh. This hatred is for Uttar Pradesh. This hatred is for Bhagwadhari, Yogi Adityanath ji, who is doing such a fantastic job in Uttar Pradesh. Everybody is happy and Congress is perturbed.
And talking about hate politics, who do you think is really playing on hate politics now? Because Rahul Gandhi, even post the Bharat Jodo Yatra and during this entire Yatra, is looking for ways to attack the BJP. You think this is really going to cut ice with the people?
His whole Yatra has gone down the drain because he didn't find any divisive country, no divisive state. So now he understands very well that Bharat Jodo Yatra was a sheer waste of time. So now he's targeting Yogi Adityanath ji. UP is going to give answer back to Rahul Gandhi and his political party.
Yes, absolutely, and that really time will tell. But for the moment, Anila Singh, many thanks for speaking to Republic this afternoon. And a lot of responses that have been coming into this as the BJP is now not taking this comment obviously very well and responding very strongly to how Rahul Gandhi has spoken against Yogi Adityanath, where he's said that Yogi Adityanath is a leader who divides. He's also gone on to say that no religion talks about spreading hate, and he has alleged that Yogi Adityanath uses unparliamentary language, not something that a religious leader would use. He's also gone on to say that Yogi Adityanath has insulted the history of the Gorakhnath Mutt. He's called him a thug. And this has infuriated the entire Seer community that now wants Rahul Gandhi to apologize. Also with us on the phone line is Savio Rodriguez. Savio, your response to what Rahul Gandhi has said against Yogi Adityanath this time?
Well, Rahul Gandhi is known to make very ridiculous statements. But this is not only a ridiculous statement, this is an insult to an elected representative of the government. A leader, a political leader who is the chief minister of a state. The chief minister of a state is elected by the elected representatives and selected by the elected representatives. So for Rahul Gandhi to stoop to this level of calling him a thug is insulting not only to Yogi Adityanath, not only to the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, to the position of the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, but also to many, many religious leaders and followers from the Hindu community. Because while being a religious leader, Yogi Adityanath is also the chief minister of the state. And it is absolutely poor on Rahul Gandhi. But then that is expected. You don't expect class, you don't expect gravitas, and you definitely don't expect respectability. This is the same Rahul Gandhi who had no respect for the then Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, when he tore the ordinance. Rahul Gandhi, as a political leader, is a spoiled brat. He is in politics only because of his family name and the large number of sycophants that follow him in the Congress party because they have no objective in their life. Therefore, it is important that Rahul Gandhi apologizes. It is imperative that Rahul Gandhi apologizes because he's insulting a political leader who's a chief minister of a state. To call him a thug is to insult the very voters that voted for him, to insult the chair that he's been put on. And therefore, Rahul Gandhi must apologize. And I completely agree with the seers raising their voices to get Rahul Gandhi to apologize. Rahul Gandhi, as a political leader, is of poor class, and he was always someone that made that kind of obnoxious and ridiculous statements.
Absolutely. And Savio, I want to thank you for speaking to Republic this afternoon. In fact, several reactions coming in from the BJP now as Yogi Adityanath chooses to ignore this comment by Rahul Gandhi. Shehzad Poonawala has spoken. Let's listen in. All right, before we listen into what Shehzad Poonawala has said, Acharya Tushar Bhosle is now with us on the phone line. Acharya ji, आपका क्या रिएक्शन है आज जब राहुल गांधी ने योगी आदित्यनाथ को ठग बुलाया है?
देखिए, भारत की महान संस्कृति, हमारी सनातन परंपरा की धरोहर के ध्वजवाहक है पूज्य योगी आदित्यनाथ महाराज। और यदि उनको ये राहुल गांधी यदि ठग कहते हैं, तो मुझे तो ये पहली बात कहना चाहिए कि राहुल गांधी ही खुद महाठग है, क्योंकि उनका सारा परिवार एंटोनिया माइनो और उनका इटालियन डीएनए होने की वजह से उनको हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति के संत महंत आज ठग लगने लगे। ये तो माँ बेटों ने दोनों ने मिलकर भारत को ठगने का काम किया है। आज हमारी सारी संस्कृति को डुबाते हुए इटालियन विचारधारा के लोग आज हमारे संत महंतों की परंपरा को इस तरह से नीची राजनीति पर ये लोग उतरे हैं। आपके राजकीय विचार कुछ भी हो सकते हैं, राजनीतिक विरोध हो सकता है, लेकिन आज एक महंत को, आज एक संत को आप इस तरह से ठग बुलवाते हो। आज देखिए, उनका कोई परिवार नहीं है, सारा भारत, सारा हमारा समाज उनका परिवार है और रात दिन वो उनके लिए काम कर रहे हैं। ऐसी महान व्यक्तित्व को यदि वो ठग कहते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि राहुल गांधी और एंटोनिया माइनो यही सही मायने में भारत के महाठग है और इनकी सारी गांधी परिवार ने हमारे भारत को ठगने का काम किया है।
क्या आपको लगता है राहुल गांधी को माफी मांगनी चाहिए?
बिल्कुल माफी मांगनी चाहिए। राहुल गांधी को नहीं, पूरे कांग्रेस ने माफी मांगनी चाहिए। लेकिन राहुल गांधी को तो बुद्धि का पता है ही नहीं। राहुल गांधी को कहाँ अक्ल है वो माफी मांगे? उनको ठग का मीनिंग क्या होता है इतना तो पता होना चाहिए। ये भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में निकले तो कहाँ सुना होगा लोगों ने, इनको कहा होगा देखिए ठग आया ठग आया ठग आया। ये सुनकर उन्होंने ये शब्द इस्तेमाल किया है। उनको ठग का अर्थ तो भी मालूम है क्या? क्योंकि वो ना तो भारतीय संस्कृति में पढ़े हैं, ना उनको भारतीय शब्द कुछ पता है। तो पहले वो शब्द का अर्थ क्या है वो पता कर ले और फिर वो माफी मांगेंगे। लेकिन माफी मांगने की परंपरा और संस्कृति उनमें है या नहीं, मैं तो मांग करता हूं कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष भले ही जो गांधी परिवार के इशारे पे चलते होंगे, लेकिन मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी ने इस पर अपना वक्तव्य देना चाहिए और उन्होंने राहुल गांधी की तरफ से माफी मांगनी चाहिए। क्योंकि राहुल गांधी तो बहुत ही बचकानी हरकत करते हैं, उनको तो संस्कृति के बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं।
जी आचार्य जी, रिपब्लिक से बात करने का बहुत शुक्रिया। एंड लाइक आई वाज सेइंग, several reactions coming in from the BJP on this. Shehzad Poonawala has spoken. Let's listen in.
After a series of attacks on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Maut ka Saudagar needs to chai bech, now the Congress's entitled liners are attacking another constitutional position holder, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who also happens to be the Mahant of the Gorakhnath Peeth, the Gorakhnath Mutt, by saying that he is not a religious leader, ये धार्मिक नेता नहीं है, ये एक मामूली ठग है, and by saying BJP अधर्म करती है. This is nothing new for the Congress party. Gone berserk with vote bank politics, the Congress party sees a aman ka दूत, a shanti ka दूत, a force of peace in Musharraf. They see an ambassador of peace in Zakir Naik, but in a Hindu saint, in somebody who is the Mahant of the Gorakhnath Mutt, they see a common thug. This is not the first time that Hindus, Hindutva, Hindu traditions, Hindu faith and icons and other institutions of Hindu faith have been attacked by the Congress party. This is the same Congress party who Siddaramaiah was attacking Hindutva recently. We have seen how they have opposed Ram Mandir, Prabhu Shri Ram's existence, how they have said Hindu terror, Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram. They have attacked saffron color and also coined saffron terror. How time and again they spare no opportunity to link Gita ji with jihad, who say Hindutva is like ISIS and Boko Haram. These are the same people who say Hindus are a dirty word. This constant visceral hatred for anything that is Hindu and for any non-dynast who ascends to the topmost constitutional positions has become the DNA of the Congress party, and once again they're displaying it.
देखिए, वो राहुल गांधी जी की राजनीति है और हर चीज़ पे मेरे यहाँ पर खड़े होकर जवाब देने की ज़रूरत है नहीं, और कई लोग मेरे लिए इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि मैं उनकी हर चीज़ पे जवाब दूं। मेरा मानना है कि मेरे को अपनी पार्टी के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, उनकी पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए और किस तरीके से देश आगे बढ़े उसके बारे में बात करनी चाहिए। 140 करोड़ लोग हैं इस देश में, अगर सबके बारे में बात करना शुरू करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे।
So while Yogi Adityanath himself chooses to ignore this comment by Rahul Gandhi, it is the BJP that is now responding, and angry reactions you hear from the party itself. Also the Seer community that stands infuriated over this insult against Yogi Adityanath, and they demand that Rahul Gandhi must apologize. But really, to why Rahul Gandhi would go on to say this, because the statement, to be precise, where he's called Yogi Adityanath a thug, he's also said that the language he uses is not right, and no religious leader would use that kind of language. He's gone on to say that no religion talks of dividing people and spreading hate, and he has accused the BJP of adharam in Uttar Pradesh. He's also gone on to add that this is Yogi Adityanath who's insulting the Gorakhnath Mutt by the language that he uses. So a lot of responses coming into this. This, of course, as we see Rahul Gandhi going on an overdrive, as he is not just attacking several prominent leaders in the BJP, but throughout the Bharat Jodo Yatra of the kind of politics that is being played. Vinod Bansal from the VHP is now with us on the phone line. Vinod ji, आपका क्या रिएक्शन है जो राहुल गांधी ने योगी आदित्यनाथ को ठग बुलाया है?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है ये विनाशकाले विपरीत बुद्धि वाली बात है. The way the Congress is constantly and permanently attacking Hindu communities and the Hindu sentiments, Hindu sons, Bhagava, temples, एंड अवर परंपरा और जो मानबिंदु हैं उन पर जो लगातार जिस तरह से कांग्रेस हमलावर है, उससे से अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि अब कांग्रेस की जो अंतिम यात्रा देश के नागरिक जल्दी निकालने वाले हैं। और ये जो राहुल गांधी जो कह रहे हैं कि मैं भारत को जोड़ने चला हूँ, अपनी माता श्री जो मुश्किल से 1 किलोमीटर दूर रहती हैं और वो अकेली रहती हैं, ये अकेली रहते हैं, वो अपनी माता जी को नहीं जोड़ पाए, वो भारत को जोड़ने चले हैं। और आप देखिए कि जिस पार्टी ने हमेशा पूज्य संतों का अपमान किया, भगवा का अपमान किया, वो पार्टी आज अपने आप को तपस्वी बता रही है। कभी तपस्या की है क्या? तपस्या की एबीसीडी जानी है क्या? लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि उन्होंने पंगे बहुत लिए, अब ये पंगा बहुत भारी पड़ेगा इनको, ऐसा लग रहा है। पूजनीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी के बारे में इस तरह की अभद्र भाषा का प्रयोग करना, ये कांग्रेस की संस्कृति का हिस्सा तो है, लेकिन अब ये इनको समझ में आ जाएगा कि आखिरकार अनर्गल टिप्पणियां करने का क्या अर्थ होता है और उसके क्या परिणाम होते हैं। इनके दुष्परिणाम जब सामने आएंगे तब इन पूरे कांग्रेस के कुनबे को पता लग जाएगा आखिरकार किस तरह से और किसके साथ कैसे बोला जाता है, क्या बर्ताव किया जाता है। कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस की कोख में से जन्मे जितने भी राजनीतिक पार्टियां हैं, चाहे सपा हो, आरजेडी हो, कांग्रेस हो या अन्य दल हो, जिस तरह से हमारे धर्म ग्रंथों के ऊपर आघात कर रहे हैं लगातार, जिस तरह से हमारे जो कुछ संतों का जो अपमान कर रहे हैं, ये जो है इनके ताबूत की आखिरी चीज साबित होगी। आप देखिए कि जिस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग कर रहे हैं, इसी से पता लगता है कि आखिरकार ये पार्टी है क्या, इसका कैरेक्टर क्या है। ये जो राहुल गांधी और कुछ नहीं करे, इस पार्टी का कैरेक्टर असैसिनेशन कर रहे हैं पूरा। और ये तो बेसिकली कहते तो है कि हम पुरानी पार्टी है, वास्तविकता ये देखी जाए तो ये तो जो है ना, ये नूतन अवतार है इस पार्टी का, जो कि हिंदू द्रोही मानसिकता के साथ चल रहा है। दिखावे को तो कोर्ट के ऊपर जनेऊ धारण करेंगे और कहेंगे हम तो ये हैं और हम तो वो हैं, लेकिन अपने दादा फिरोज की मजार पर कभी नहीं गए आज तक। आखिरकार जो माता क्रिश्चियन है, उसका पुत्र हिंदू कब हो गया, ये भी उन दोनों को भी सर्टिफिकेट नहीं बताया। लेकिन हाँ, कुछ नेता हैं जो अपने आप सेल्फ सर्टिफिकेशन में लगे हुए हैं, कहते हैं कि मैं भी तो हिंदू हूँ, मैं भी ये मानता हूँ, मैं भी ये मानता हूँ, मेरा गोत्र ये है। तो ये सब चीजें सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन से काम नहीं चलता। देश की जनता भ्रमित होने वाले नहीं है। देश की जनता को पता है आखिरकार कौन कितने पानी में है और किसका क्या कैरेक्टर है। अब उनके भ्रम में नहीं, भ्रमजाल में नहीं फंसने वाली। अब देश के प्रत्येक नागरिक के पास में अपना एक पूरा कम्युनिकेशन चैनल हाथ में रहता है। अब जिस तरह से ये लोग प्रोपेगेंडा पॉलिटिक्स चलाते थे और देश को बंटवारे,
और विनोद बंसल एक पैटर्न बन गया है ये। जी बिल्कुल, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। आचार्य विक्रमादित्य भी हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। आचार्य जी, एक पैटर्न सा बन गया है जहां पर कांग्रेस, खासकर कि राहुल गांधी, इस तरह के नेम कॉलिंग करते हैं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर को अब्यूज करते हैं, अभी योगी आदित्यनाथ को अब्यूज किया है। यहाँ पर योगी आदित्यनाथ का पोजीशन बहुत क्लियर है कि हम इसको इग्नोर करेंगे क्योंकि हमें डेवलपमेंट पे फोकस करना है। पर आपको लगता है कांग्रेस अपना ही नुकसान कर रही है इस तरह की स्टेटमेंट्स पब्लिक में बोलकर?
जी बिल्कुल, इस देश के समक्ष इस बात को हर कोई व्यक्ति समझ रहा है कि पहले, आज से 10 साल पहले जब आंदोलन होते थे, वो आंदोलन होते थे किसी स्कैम के खिलाफ, किसी और करप्शन के खिलाफ। लगातार जो स्कैम्स की सीरीज चल रही थी, आज कुछ बचा नहीं है इनके पास और अब लगातार केवल आरोप करने के लिए, गालियां देने के लिए ही राजनीति शुरू हो गई है। जिस प्रकार से जो लगातार पैटर्न चल रहा है, कभी प्रधानमंत्री को गाली देना है, जब आप जैसा आपने बोला, और आज लगातार हिंदुओं पे लगातार कभी हिंदुओं को गंदा कह रहा है, और आज संत वेश में एक व्यक्ति राजनीति में है, धर्मरत राजनीति कर रहे हैं और पूरी तरह से सन्यासी जिसको कहा जाता है कि देश के हित में, समाज के हित में जो कार्य कर रहे हैं, उस व्यक्ति के खिलाफ बोलना, जिसने अपना एक जेब में एक पैसा नहीं लेके चलता है, और ऐसे व्यक्ति के खिलाफ बोलना, और जो खुद स्कैम में इन्वॉल्व रहे हैं, लगातार इस देश में रहे, वो हर एक को पता है कि कितने कितने कौन कौन किस स्कैम में रहा है, और लगातार ये जिस प्रकार की शब्दों का उच्चारण कर रहे हैं, और तो हिंदुओं के खिलाफ में कभी सैफरन टेररिज्म, कभी जिहादी, हिंदुओं को बता देना, कभी काफिर कह देना हिंदुओं को, और कभी गंदा शब्द का उच्चारण करना। ये राजनीति की मियर फ्रस्ट्रेशन दिखाई देती है कि जब फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो चुके हैं, इनके पास कोई मुद्दा नहीं बचा है, किसी प्रकार से कोई घेरने को नहीं बचा है, तो अब ये केवल एक ही बात कर रहे हैं।
All right, so those are the back-to-back reactions that are coming in. It is an angry BJP. It is also the Seer community that stands infuriated, demanding that Rahul Gandhi must apologize. And it is really hypocrisy on the part of Rahul Gandhi, another self-goal that he has come out with. But really to make such statements against Yogi Adityanath is uncalled for. And this kind of politics is not going to work for him. This, as Rahul Gandhi has called Yogi Adityanath a thug. He has said that the kind of language Yogi Adityanath uses is not something that a religious leader would do. He has time.
उसको गहराई से सुनने का मौका मिला। शुरुआत में, यात्रा की शुरुआत में मैंने सोचा था कि 3,500 किलोमीटर चलने हैं और मुश्किल है मगर किया जा सकता है। आप भी राजनेता हो, हम भी राजनेता हैं। हाँ, सेवक कह लीजिए। और नॉर्मली आजकल की राजनीति में जो हमारी पुराना ट्रेडिशन था पैदल चलने का, वो आजकल हम सब लोग, हम भी आप भी, उस ट्रेडिशन को शायद भूल गए या उसका हम पालन नहीं करते। मैं भी उसमें शामिल था, आप भी उसमें शामिल हैं। हम सब, कोई गाड़ी में जाता है, कोई हवाई जहाज में जाता है, कोई हेलीकॉप्टर में जाता है, मगर पैदल कम चलते हैं। ठीक है, ठीक है। और जब पैदल चला जाता है, हाँ पैदल जाएंगे, सब जगह पैदल जाएंगे, घबराइए मत। तो जब पैदल चला जाता है, मैं 1 किलोमीटर की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, 10 की नहीं कर रहा हूं, 25 की नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं 200-300-400 किलोमीटर की बात कर रहा हूं। जब 200-300-400 किलोमीटर चला जाता है तो शरीर पे दबाव पड़ता है, दर्द होता है, मुश्किल आती है। शुरुआत में चलते वक्त लोगों की आवाज सुन रहे थे हम, मगर हमारे दिल में यह भी था कि हम भी अपनी बात रखें। कोई हमारे पास आता था, कहता था कि मैं बेरोजगार हूं, और हमें लगता था कि नहीं, हमें कहना चाहिए कि तुम बेरोजगार क्यों हो, कारण क्या है। उसमें हम विपक्ष का रोल भी प्ले कर लेते थे, आपकी भी बुराई कर देते थे। नहीं, वो तो है, वो भी करेंगे, हम भी करेंगे। मगर थोड़ी देर चलने के बाद एक बदलाव आया, और जो हमारी आवाज थी, जो ये डिजायर था बोलने का कि भैया बेरोजगारी इसलिए है, महंगाई इसलिए है, वो बिल्कुल बंद हो गई। क्योंकि हमने इतने लोगों से बात की, मतलब हजारों लोगों से बात की, बच्चों से, बुजुर्गों से, महिलाओं से, माताओं से, बहनों से, कि थोड़ी देर बाद ये बिल्कुल आवाज बंद हो गई। और फिर हम गहराई से, और मैं खुल के कह सकता हूं, मैंने तो अपनी जिंदगी में इस प्रकार से कभी पहले सुना ही नहीं था। क्योंकि हम सब में थोड़ा सा अहंकार होता है कि हम ही बता दें, अपनी बात रख दें।
आस्ते आस्ते जब हम चले 500-600 किलोमीटर बाद जनता की आवाज गहराई से सुनाई देने लगी और एक प्रकार से यात्रा, इंडिविजुअल्स नहीं, यात्रा हमसे बोलने लगी। नहीं, गहरी बात है,
समझ नहीं आएगा।
आप समझने की कोशिश करो। यात्रा हमसे बोलने लगी।
200 किलोमीटर आप चलने की कोशिश करिए, पता चल जाएगा।
और
प्रधानमंत्री जी तो बचपन से चल रहे हैं, वो चाय बेचने इसलिए जाते थे भैया।
तो यात्रा बोलने लगी। कोई आता था, कहता था, युवक आता था, कहता था मैं बेरोजगार हूं। हम सवाल पूछते थे, क्या पढ़ा आपने? इंजीनियरिंग की, अब क्या करते हो? कोई कहता था मैं बेरोजगार हूं, कोई कहता था मैं उबर चलाता हूं, कोई कहता था मैं मजदूरी करता हूं। किसान आए हजारों। प्रधानमंत्री बीमा योजना की बात की कि हम पैसा भरते हैं, तूफान आता है, आंधी आती है, पैसा गायब हो जाता है। किसानों ने यह भी कहा कि हमारी जमीन छीन ली जाती है, हमें सही रेट नहीं मिलता। जमीन अधिग्रहण बिल जो था वो लागू नहीं होता। आदिवासियों ने कहा, वनवासियों ने नहीं, आदिवासियों ने, कि जो ट्राइबल बिल में हमें दिया जाता था वो आज छीना जा रहा है। तो बहुत सारी चीजें हमको सुनने को मिली, मगर मेन थ्रस्ट, अगर मैं कहूं, मेन थ्रस्ट बेरोजगारी, महंगाई और किसान। उसमें एमएसपी थी, उसमें बीज की समस्या थी, किसान बिल की समस्या थी। अच्छा, अग्निवीर की भी बात की लोगों ने। आपने अभी बोला कि अग्निवीर देश को फायदा पहुंचाएगा, मगर हिंदुस्तान का युवा जो 4 बजे दौड़ता है, आर्मी में भर्ती होने के लिए दौड़ता है, वो आपकी बात से सहमत नहीं है। उनने हमसे कहा कि पहले हमें 15 साल की सर्विस मिलती थी, पेंशन मिलती थी, अब 4 साल के बाद हमें निकाल दिया जाएगा, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, पेंशन नहीं मिलेगी। सीनियर ऑफिसर्स ने कहा कि हमें तो लगता है कि ये जो अग्निवीर योजना है ये आर्मी के अंदर से नहीं आई, ये कहीं और से आई है, ये आरएसएस से आई है, होम मिनिस्ट्री से आई है। ये सीनियर आर्मी के लोगों ने कहा है, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, कि हमें लगता है कि ये आर्मी के ऊपर ये योजना थोपी गई है और ये आर्मी को कमजोर करेगी। आर्मी के जनरल्स ने हमें कहा, जो रिटायर्ड हैं, उन्होंने हमें कहा, राहुल जी, हजारों लोगों को हम हथियार की ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं और फिर थोड़ी देर बाद उनको समाज में डाल रहे हैं। बेरोजगारी है, समाज में हिंसा बढ़ेगी। तो उनके मन में था कि ये जो अग्निवीर योजना जो है, ये आर्मी के अंदर से नहीं आई है। और मुझे नाम भी बताया कि अजीत डोभाल जी ने ये योजना आर्मी पे थोपी है। क्यों नहीं ले सकते?
क्यों नहीं ले सकते?
बिल्कुल ले सकते हैं, पार्लियामेंट में थोड़ी है वो।
क्यों नहीं ले
सकते? क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
सर, ये तर्क है, बाद में अडानी के लिए भी यही बोलने वाले हैं, फिर ये तर्क है इनका।
तो
तो इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि मैंने फिर प्रेसिडेंट्स एड्रेस पढ़ा। देश के सब युवा अग्निवीर 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 बोल रहे हैं, कह रहे हैं कि ये आर्मी के ऊपर थोपा गया है, हमें नहीं चाहिए। आर्मी के लोग कह रहे हैं हमें नहीं चाहिए। जैसे मैंने कहा, आर्मी को लगता है कि होम मिनिस्ट्री ने इनके ऊपर थोपा है, आरएसएस ने ये उनके ऊपर थोपा है। तो ये आवाजें आ रही हैं। अब मैंने आपका बैठिए, अब बैठिए, कौन सा तो एक फर्क, मैं थोड़ा पानी ले आऊं, मैंने पानी, तो मुझे एक फर्क दिखा। प्रेसिडेंट्स एड्रेस में बहुत सारी चीजें बोली गई। अग्निवीर के लिए एक लाइन थी, एक शब्द, एक बार अग्निवीर शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया, और वो भी अग्निवीर योजना हमने दी, उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बोला। कहां से आई, कौन लाया, किसको फायदा होगा, ये नहीं बोला। बेरोजगारी शब्द ही नहीं था उसमें। आपने देखा होगा, बेरोजगारी शब्द ही नहीं था प्रेसिडेंट एड्रेस में। महंगाई शब्द ही नहीं था। तो जो यात्रा में हमें सुनने को मिला, अग्निवीर, महंगाई, किसान, बेरोजगारी, प्रेसिडेंट एड्रेस में था ही नहीं। तो ये मुझे थोड़ा अजीब लगा कि जनता कुछ कह रही है और प्रेसिडेंट्स एड्रेस में कुछ और सुनाई दे रहा है। अच्छा, एक और चीज हमें बताई गई। तमिलनाडु से लेकर केरला, महाराष्ट्र, मध्य प्रदेश, सब जगह एक नाम सब जगह हमें सुनने को मिला, अदानी। यह नाम पूरे हिंदुस्तान में, केरल में, तमिलनाडु में, महाराष्ट्र, कर्नाटका, हिमाचल, कश्मीर, सब जगह अदानी 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 अदानी। और ये नाम नहीं, और इस नाम के बारे में जब लोग बोलते थे मुझसे, तो 2-3 सवाल पूछते थे। ये पूछते थे कि ये जो अदानी जी हैं, ये किसी भी बिजनेस में घुस जाता है, ये सफलता प्राप्त कर जाता है, ये कभी फेल नहीं होता। और युवाओं ने मुझसे यह सवाल पूछा कि भाई ये हो क्या रहा है, हम भी सीखना चाहते हैं। मोदी जी ने कहा स्टार्टअप करो, हम भी अदानी जी जैसे बनना चाहते हैं। तो भैया किसी भी बिजनेस में घुस जाओ और एकदम सक्सेस हो जाए। यह पहला सवाल था। दूसरा सवाल था कि ये अदानी जी हैं, ये किसी भी बिजनेस में घुस जाते हैं। पहले ये 1-2 बिजनेस करते थे, अब ये 8-10 सेक्टर्स में काम करते हैं। एयरपोर्ट्स, डेटा सेंटर्स, सीमेंट, सोलर एनर्जी, विंड एनर्जी, एरोस्पेस एंड डिफेंस, कंज्यूमर फाइनेंस, रिन्यूएबल्स, मीडिया। तो उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा कि राहुल जी, हाँ
वेट करो,
बैठे हाँ, धन्यवाद। पोर्ट्स की बात भी थी। ये भी सवाल पूछा, कि भैया एक बात बताइए, राहुल जी बताइए हमें कि अदानी जी का जो नेटवर्थ है वो 3 साल के अंदर, 2014 से लेकर 2022 तक ये $8 बिलियन से $140 बिलियन कैसे हो गया?
कैसे हुआ?
मोदी है तो
ये 2014 में अगर आप दुनिया की मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, आप बीजेपी में है ना आप, तो ये लिस्ट आती है, एक लिस्ट आती है दुनिया के सबसे अमीर लोगों की। इस पे ये 609 नंबर पे थे 14 में। 609 पीछे बिल्कुल। पता नहीं जादू हुआ, दूसरे नंबर पे पहुंच गए।
मोदी है तो मुमकिन है।
तो मुझसे पूछा यार, बहुत सारे लोगों ने पूछा कि भैया राहुल जी बताइए, हिमाचल में सेब की बात होती है अदानी जी, कश्मीर में सेब की बात होती है अदानी जी, पोर्ट्स की बात होती है अदानी जी, एयरपोर्ट्स की बात होती है अदानी जी, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। अच्छा, हम सड़क पे चल रहे हैं, मैं पूछूं किसने बनाई? अदानी जी। तो लोगों ने यह भी पूछा कि राहुल जी, ये जो अदानी जी जो हैं, इनकी सफलता कैसे हुई? ये इतने बिजनेसेस में कैसे घुस गए? इतनी सफलता कैसे प्राप्त हुई? और सबसे जरूरी सवाल, इनका हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री के साथ क्या रिश्ता है और कैसा रिश्ता है?
देश जानना चाहता है,
तो
देश जानना चाहता है।
ये देखिए रिश्ता, ये देख लीजिए।
प्लीज पोस्टर माननीय सदस्य,
पब्लिक में सर,
माननीय सदस्य पोस्टर नहीं, प्लीज पोस्टर नहीं,
पोस्टर नहीं है सर।
देखिए आप बैठिए, एक मिनट बैठिए। आप पोस्टरबाजी करेंगे तो इधर कहेंगे राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री का पोस्टर चुकाएंगे। पोस्टरबाजी के लिए सदन नहीं है। आप बात करें, पोस्टरबाजी नहीं।
स्पीकर सर,
आप वरिष्ठ सदस्य हैं,
स्पीकर सर,
तो पोस्टरबाजी उचित नहीं है।
स्पीकर सर,
पोस्टरबाजी उचित नहीं है, प्लीज।
राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री,
ये सच्चाई है। चलिए, पोस्टर नहीं, प्लीज।
वो लिख दे दो मुझे। हाँ, आ गया। जस्ट राइट इट नीटली। तो नहीं स्पीकर सर, वो फोटो है सर, वो पोस्टर नहीं है।
आप वरिष्ठ सदस्य हैं,
प्राइम मिनिस्टर की फोटो है सर,
नियम में नहीं है,
उनका अच्छा चेहरा
ने नियम बनाया है।
उनके वहां पे, उनके पीछे अदानी का लोगो है, अदानी जी के हवाई जहाज में घुस रहे हैं। तो मैंने सोचा कि आज के प्रेसिडेंट्स एड्रेस में मैं थोड़ा जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी का और अदानी जी का रिश्ता है उसके बारे में आपको थोड़ा बता देता हूं।
प्लीज बताइए।
तो वो आप बता देना। So the relationship begins many years ago when Narendra Modi ji was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And when most of India's business was asking questions of the Prime Minister, was against the Prime Minister, one man stood shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister. He didn't back down. That's commendable. It's not a joke. He was loyal to the Prime Minister. And what did he do? He helped Mr. Modi construct the idea of resurgent Gujarat. Right? The idea that you bring these businessmen together, and you call it resurgent Gujarat, vibrant Gujarat, they're both. And he was the backbone in setting up that group of people. Okay? And the result of that was tremendous growth of his businesses in Gujarat. Expansion of his businesses. I think then the real magic starts. जब प्रधानमंत्री जी दिल्ली आते हैं और 2014 में असली जादू शुरू होता है। मैंने कहा कि 2014 में वो 609 नंबर पे थे, कुछ ही सालों में वो दूसरे नंबर पे पहुंच गए। कैसे पहुंचे? मैं आपको, बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करते हैं, मैं आपको 2-3 इंडस्ट्रीज का उदाहरण दे देता हूं। एयरपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री की बात, एयरपोर्ट्स की बात करते हैं। कुछ साल पहले सरकार ने हिंदुस्तान के एयरपोर्ट्स को डेवलप करने के लिए दिया। नियम था, there was a rule that anybody who does not have prior experience in airports cannot be involved in development of these airports. नहीं, गलत नहीं बोल रहा हूं। आप बैठ जाइए।
अडानी के डिफेंस में आ गए सर।
देखिए, अरे माननीय सदस्य प्लीज मेरी बात सुनो। तो 1 मिनट मेरी बात सुनो। ये 1 मिनट बात सुनेंगे। ये संसद है, अपन किस दिशा पर चर्चा कर रहे हैं ये देश देख रहा है। हमें राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण पर चर्चा करें तो उचित रहे, बाकी आपकी इच्छा है, स्वतंत्र अभिव्यक्ति है। मेरा मानना ये है तो अपन एक विषय पर ओके,
तो आपको तो रूल था, नियम था।
हाँ, पॉइंट ऑफ ऑर्डर किस पे है ये?
कैसे
एयरपोर्ट का प्राइवेटाइजेशन तो उनके समय हुआ, ऐसी कोई पार्टी थी जिसका अनुभव था? ये कौन सी बात कर रहे हैं?
बोलिए। ओके प्लीज ओके, बोलने दे आपको नेता को,
तो
बोलने दे आपको नेता।
रूल था,
प्लीज बोलने दे।
रूल था कि अगर कोई एयरपोर्ट बिजनेस में नहीं था तो वो इन एयरपोर्ट्स को ले नहीं सकता था। इस रूल को हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने बदला। किसी ने भी बनाया हो, रूल था। किसी ने भी बनाया हो, रूल था। रूल बनाया किसने बात नहीं है, रूल बदला किसने बात है। रूल बदला गया और किसके लिए? किसने किया है? रूल बदला गया।
चलता रहेगा क्या सर?
आप
रूल को बदला गया।
अरे
सर बोलने दीजिए।
करना चाहिए सर, ऑथेंटिकेट करना चाहिए।
चलिए आप
रूल बदला गया सर, स्पीकर सर। तो ये रूल बदला गया। उस समय मीडिया में इसके बारे में चर्चा हुई थी। रूल बदला गया और अदानी जी को 6 एयरपोर्ट्स दिए गए। उसके बाद after that India's most strategic profitable airport, Mumbai airport, was taken away by GVK hijack by using the agencies. The agencies को CBI ED का प्रयोग कर GVK पर दबाव डालकर हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने उस एयरपोर्ट को अदानी जी के हाथों में कर दिया। रिजल्ट क्या आया? रिजल्ट आया कि एयरपोर्ट्स में आज अदानी जी 24% हिंदुस्तान की एयर ट्रैफिक को अपने एयरपोर्ट से निकालते हैं और 31% एयर फ्रेट उनके एयरपोर्ट्स में से निकलता है। अब यह काम हिंदुस्तान की सरकार और हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री जी ने फैसिलिटेट किया। तो
बताइए, बोलिए विधि मंत्री। और ये जो सर ये हाउस में सर ये बोल रहे हैं, तुम तो ज्ञान बांट रहे हो, बैठ जाओ। सर ये यहाँ बहुत गंभीर मिनिस्टर हैं, ये देश के राष्ट्रपति का उद्बोधन को लेकर एक गंभीर चर्चा हो रही है। जो भी मेंबर कुछ भी बात करे विद फुल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑथेंटिकेट करें। और ये वाइल्ड एलिगेशन अपना एक सोच के आया है, बिना तर्क के ऐसे वाइल्ड एलिगेशन लगा रहे, ये कोई मतलब नहीं है सर, ये ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते। और वो सर तर्क रखना पड़ेगा। अगर एलिगेशन लगा रहे हैं तो आपको पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट प्रूफ के साथ आपको रखना पड़ेगा। दे देंगे आप ऐसे बातें नहीं दे देंगे। और ये गंभीरता को समझिए, ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री प्रूफ दे देंगे। अब आपने जो पिछले स्पीकर थे उन्होंने फॉरेन पॉलिसी की बात की, हम भी फॉरेन पॉलिसी की बात करते हैं। चलिए डिफेंस से शुरू करते हैं। बहुत ऑप्शन है, आप बताइए कहां से शुरू करें। बिजली, डिफेंस,
बहुत ऑप्शन है। डिफेंस, लेट अस स्टार्ट विद डिफेंस। अब डिफेंस में अदानी जी का कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं था, जीरो एक्सपीरियंस। कल मैंने प्रधानमंत्री को HAL में देखा। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि गलत आरोप लगाया, मगर रियलिटी तो यह है कि HAL का जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था 126 हवाई जहाजों का, वो अनिल अंबानी को चला गया और अनिल अंबानी बैंकरप्ट हो गया। वहां भी फैसिलिटेशन था। अब देखिए, और ये जो फ्यूचर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, जो बिजनेस स्कूल हैं, हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी जैसे स्कूल हैं, इनको इसका केस स्टडी, इसकी केस स्टडी बनानी चाहिए, शायद बने। हाउ टू यूज गवर्नमेंट पावर टू बिल्ड इंडिविजुअल बिजनेसेस, केस स्टडी। तो अब देखिए, अदानी जी की डिफेंस में इंटरेस्ट देखिए। एल्बिट कंपनी के साथ हिंदुस्तान में अदानी जी ड्रोन्स बनाते हैं। ड्रोन्स को हिंदुस्तान की एयरफोर्स, आर्मी, नेवी के लिए रीफिट करते हैं। अदानी जी ने यह काम कभी नहीं किया है पहले। HAL यह काम करती है। हिंदुस्तान में और भी कंपनीज हैं जो ये काम करती हैं, मगर प्रधानमंत्री जी इजराइल जाते हैं और उसके एकदम बाद अदानी जी को ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिल जाता है, मगर एक नहीं मिलता। ये मत सोचिए कि ये सिर्फ एक कंपनी की बात हो रही है, ये इंडस्ट्रीज की बात होती है यहां पे। जैसे मैंने आपको दिखाया, एयरपोर्ट का पूरा सिस्टम उठा के ले गए, 30% मार्केट शेयर एयरपोर्ट में ले गए, वैसे ही डिफेंस में करा। तो 4 डिफेंस की इनके पास कंपनीज हैं। यह काम इन्होंने कभी नहीं किया। स्मॉल आर्म्स, जिसमें टवर है जो हमारी स्पेशल फोर्सेस यूज करती है, आर्मी यूज करती है, जिसमें गलील स्नाइपर राइफल है, ये सब अदानी जी बनाते हैं। सीधा स्ट्रेट इजराइल में प्राइम मिनिस्टर जाते हैं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ वहां पे मतलब बीच में पैदल चलते हैं और फिर जादू से पीछे से इंडिया का फर्स्ट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एमआरओ मिल जाता है मेंटेनेंस के लिए, जहाजों के मेंटेनेंस के लिए। स्मॉल आर्म्स का बिजनेस मिल जाता है, इजरायली जो ड्रोन्स हैं उसका बिजनेस मिल जाता है। मतलब जो हिंदुस्तान और इजराइल का डिफेंस का रिश्ता है वो पूरा पूरा अदानी जी के हाथ में चला जाता है, खत्म कहानी। हाँ, उसमें पेगासस भी है, तो पता नहीं वहां से क्या मतलब पेगासस कैसे आया, क्या हुआ, किसने दिया। अच्छा, एक और बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है, एक कंपनी है अल्फा डिफेंस जो डिफेंस इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का काम करती है, एवियोनिक्स का काम करती है और बहुत स्ट्रेटेजिक कंपनी है, वो भी अदानी जी के हवाले कर दी गई। अदानी जी ने एक्वायर कर लिया। तो आपने देखा कि एयरपोर्ट्स का बिजनेस 30% मार्केट शेयर, हिंदुस्तान और इजराइल का जो वेपन्स का बिजनेस है 90% उठा के ले गए। एक विजिट
फॉरेन पॉलिसी,
ये है फॉरेन पॉलिसी। चलिए, अब मैंने आपको इजराइल की बात बताई, ऑस्ट्रेलिया चलते हैं।
कोयला
ऑस्ट्रेलिया चलिए। ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अदानी जी जाके
ये क्यों? आप तो डिबेट करना चाहते थे, आप भी तो डिबेट करना चाहते थे। आपने बोला था कोई भी विषय पे डिबेट हो तो हो गया। अब डिबेट, आप क्यों डर रहे हो डिबेट से? आप क्यों डर रहे हो डिबेट से? क्यों डर रहे हो? जब हमने जेपीसी की मांग की आपने बोला सदन में उठाओ। आप क्यों डर रहे हो? आप क्यों डर रहे हो? आप क्यों डर रहे हो? आप चर्चा से क्यों डर रहे हो? चर्चा से डर रहे हो अब सुनना पड़ेगा, अब सुनना पड़ेगा, अब सुनना पड़ेगा।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं।
Is God yielding?
ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं।
क्या नंबर बताएं?
369।
सर ये क्या
ये कहता है सर, एक पेपर और डॉक्यूमेंट टू बी लेड ऑन द टेबल शैल बी डॉली ऑथेंटिकेटेड बाय द मेंबर प्रेजेंटिंग। देखिए पूरा सरकार इन्होंने सर, मैं इनको चैलेंज करता हूं कि जीएमआर और जीबीके उसको कब एयरपोर्ट का जो है संचालन का अधिकार था और कौन सा रूल है वो कोर्ट करे सर। इस रोल के आधार पर ये इनको मैं चैलेंज करता हूं, पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी को चैलेंज करता हूं कि जीएमआर और जीवीके को कौन सा एयरपोर्ट चलाने का लाइसेंस जब दिया तो उनको उसका नॉलेज था। मैं चैलेंज करता हूं पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी को। जब इन्होंने बिरला को बनाने का दिया, डालमिया को बनाने का दिया, टाटा को बनाने का दिया लाइसेंस, उस वक्त उनको कौन सा मोटर चलाने का अधिकार था सर। ये गलत बयानी कर रहे हैं। मेरा ये कहना है कि आप एलिगेशन प्रधानमंत्री को ऊपर लगा रहे हैं, आप पेपर दीजिए और कौन सा रूल भारत सरकार ने चेंज किया एयरपोर्ट में अडानी के लिए वो ऑथेंटिकेट कीजिए, नहीं तो इस तरह की बात नहीं कर सकते हैं।
करना पड़ेगा, ऑथेंटिकेट करना पड़ेगा। राहुल गांधी जी आपको ऑथेंटिकेट करना पड़ेगा। आप ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते हवा में, आप हवा में बोल रहे हो और प्रधानमंत्री जी पर आरोप लगा रहे हो। आपको ऑथेंटिकेट करना ही पड़ेगा। आप ऐसे ही बोल रहे हो कि जीएमआर का जीवीके के समय रूल, हाँ कहा था रूल, कोई रूल नहीं था। आपको यू हैव टू
सी डॉक्यूमेंट का आरोप लगा रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी पे। रूल 353 सर, रूल 353 किया है सर, नो एलिगेशन ऑफ डिफेमेटरी और इनक्रिमिनेटरी नेचर शैल बी मेड अनलेस यू हैव गिवन नोटिस। छोड़िए, वो तो प्रधानमंत्री के खिलाफ एलिगेशन लगा रहे हैं बिना नोटिस दिए, बिना कोई डॉक्यूमेंट दिए। सर ये रिकॉर्ड पर नहीं आना चाहिए सर, ये बिल्कुल रूल का उल्लंघन है। और क्या क्या बातें वो कह रहे हैं सर, मैं उसको रिपीट नहीं करना। रेकलेस एलिगेशन, बेसलेस एलिगेशन इन वायलेशन ऑफ रूल, सर ये स्वीकार नहीं होना चाहिए।
ओके सर, लेट अस एक सब बैठिए।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया पीएम जाते
प्लीज बैठिए, आप प्लीज बैठिए। वरिष्ठ वकील साहब बैठिए।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं।
एक मिनट राहुल जी, एक मिनट। नियम 369 भी मैंने देखा है, 353 भी देखा है। मेरा आग्रह है, सदन भारत की संसद है, हम एक ही विषय पर सारी राष्ट्रपति की चर्चा लगाए, ये उचित है क्या? फिर आपको बोलना बोले
नहीं, स्पीकर
गलत तरीका है। राहुल गांधी जी आप बोल रहे हैं गलत तरीका है। क्या देश को संदेश देना चाहते हैं आप? क्या संदेश देना चाहते हैं देश को? राहुल गांधी जी।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में प्रधानमंत्री जाते हैं।
आप बोलिए
सर। स्पीकर सर, प्रधानमंत्री जी ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं और जादू से स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया $1 बिलियन लोन अदानी जी को ऑफर कर
सर इसका भी डॉक्यूमेंट जरूरी है क्या, बताओ।
मोदी जी
आपका सरकार की बात है।
कदीर प्लीज। उसके बाद मैं उदाहरण दे रहा हूं, पूरी दुनिया में मोदी जी जाते हैं, घूमते हैं, तो मैं बता देता हूं क्या होता है वहां पे। बांग्लादेश में गए, हाँ काम पे ही जा रहे हैं, वही तो बोल रहा हूं, काम पे जा रहे हैं। बांग्लादेश जाते हैं, मोदी जी की पहली ट्रिप होती है बांग्लादेश में। वहां पे बांग्लादेश को इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बेचने का डिसीजन लिया जाता है। कुछ ही दिन बाद बांग्लादेश पावर डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड 25 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अदानी जी के साथ साइन कर देता है। 1500 मेगावाट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अदानी जी। चलिए वहां से श्रीलंका चलते हैं। जून 2022 में Chairman of Sri Lanka's Ceylon Electricity Board, MMC Fernando, informed a parliamentary committee in Sri Lanka in open hearing that he was told by President Rajapaksa that PM Modi pressured him to give the wind power project directly to Mr. Adani. मतलब श्रीलंका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड के चेयरमैन कहते हैं कि उन्होंने राजापाक्सा जी ने कहा कि हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री ने उनको कहा है कि ये विंड पावर का प्रोजेक्ट है, ये अदानी जी को देना है। तो ये रही आपकी फॉरेन पॉलिसी। ये हिंदुस्तान की फॉरेन पॉलिसी नहीं है, ये अदानी जी की फॉरेन पॉलिसी है, उनके बिजनेसेस बनाने की फॉरेन पॉलिसी है। अब यात्रा में मुझसे 2-3 और सवाल पूछे गए। यात्रा में लोगों ने मुझसे पूछा, राहुल जी ये जो LIC कंपनी है इसका पैसा अदानी जी की मदद करने के लिए क्यों डाला जा रहा है? उन्होंने यह भी पूछा कि अदानी जी के जो शेयर्स हैं बड़े वोलेटाइल हैं, उसमें LIC का पैसा क्यों डाला जा रहा है? तो मेरा कहना है कि एक सेकंड आगे हो, कमिंग मेरा कहना है कि अदानी जी की मदद प्रधानमंत्री जी और हिंदुस्तान की सरकार कैसे करती है। हजारों करोड़ रुपए हिंदुस्तान के पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स अदानी जी को मिलता है। 27,000 करोड़ रुपए एसबीआई, पीएनबी 7,000 करोड़, बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा 5,500 करोड़, ये मैं लिस्ट चलती जाएगी। एलआईसी का एक्सपोजर 36,000 करोड़ रुपए, 3 करोड़ एसबीआई and other PSU bank holders. Money is going to Mr. Adani and to finance. Now, of course, there is another question. तो मदद कैसे हो रही है? हिंदुस्तान के पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स का पैसा, एलआईसी का पैसा नरेंद्र मोदी जी, अदानी जी को दिया जा रहा है। अगर कोई सामने खड़ा हो जाता है, जैसे जीवी के लोग खड़े हुए, ईडी, सीबीआई एजेंसीज आ जाती हैं, उनको परे कर देती हैं। तेलंगाना में भी एक पोर्ट का उदाहरण था, आंध्रा, सॉरी। मगर मेन सवाल और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल दूसरा है। कुछ दिन पहले यह हिंडनबर्ग रिपोर्ट आई, उसमें लिखा था कि अदानी जी की हिंदुस्तान के बाहर शेल कंपनीज हैं। ये जो शेल कंपनीज हैं, सबसे पहला सवाल है, ये हैं किसकी? ये किसकी हैं मॉरिशस में जो शेल कंपनीज हैं? और ये जो हजारों करोड़ रुपया ये शेल कंपनीज हिंदुस्तान में भेज रही हैं, ये किसका पैसा है? और क्या ये काम अदानी जी फ्री में कर रहे हैं? अब मैं ये सवाल क्यों पूछ रहा हूं? क्योंकि अदानी जी स्ट्रेटेजिक बिजनेसेस में काम करते हैं। अदानी जी हिंदुस्तान के पोर्ट्स को डोमिनेट करते हैं। अदानी जी हिंदुस्तान के एयरपोर्ट्स को डोमिनेट करते हैं। और जैसे मैंने कहा, अदानी जी हिंदुस्तान की डिफेंस इंडस्ट्री में बहुत जरूरी रोल प्ले करते हैं। तो मेरा पहला एक छोटा सा सवाल है कि जो शेल कंपनीज हैं, इनके बारे में हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने कोई सवाल नहीं उठाया? ये कौन लोग हैं, ये किनकी कंपनीज हैं? ये स्ट्रेटेजिक मामला है, पोर्ट्स का मामला है, एयरपोर्ट्स का मामला है, डिफेंस का मामला है। और जो कंपनी इन स्ट्रेटेजिक एरियाज में काम कर रही है, उनके बारे में आपको मालूम ही नहीं। ये नेशनल सिक्योरिटी का मुद्दा है, आपको मालूम ही नहीं कि ये शेल कंपनीज किसकी हैं, कितना पैसा आ रहा है, किसका पैसा आ रहा है। तो एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल है, ये पैसा किसका है, ये शेल कंपनीज किसकी हैं, और ये हिंदुस्तान की सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है ये पता लगाना ये किसकी शेल कंपनीज हैं और ये किसका पैसा अंदर आ रहा है।
जेपीसी, we want JPC, we want JPC.
अच्छा, अब चलिए छोटा सा बजट के बारे में बता देता हूं। 2022 में अदानी जी अनाउंस करते हैं कि वो $50 बिलियन इन्वेस्ट करेंगे टू बिल्ड द वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन इकोसिस्टम। और इस बजट में बीजेपी की सरकार निर्मला सीतारमण जी कहती हैं हम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन के लिए बहुत ह्यूज इंसेंटिव्स देंगे। 19,700 करोड़ रुपए हम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन के लिए देंगे, मतलब अदानी जी को देंगे। जुगलबंदी बजट में अदानी जी के लिए 50 नए एयरपोर्ट, कोस्टल शिपिंग, हॉर्टिकल्चर, ग्रेन स्टोरेज, ये सब काम आप कर रहे हैं। तो मेरे सिर्फ कल प्रधानमंत्री जी कल भाषण देंगे, मेरे उनसे 2-3 छोटे से सवाल हैं। मेरा प्रधानमंत्री जी से 2-3 सवाल है। पहले अदानी जी के हवाई जहाज में मोदी जी जाते थे, अब मोदी जी के हवाई जहाज में अदानी जी जाते हैं। पहले लोकल मामला था, फिर नेशनल मामला हो गया, उसके बाद इंटरनेशनल मामला हो गया। अदानी जी के लिए बोरिस जॉनसन का बेटा काम करता है, आपको पता नहीं मालूम है या नहीं मालूम? भाई सॉरी, नहीं बेटा भी, भाई काम करता है। तो ये मामला पहले गुजरात का मामला था, फिर ये हिंदुस्तान का मामला हुआ, अब ये इंटरनेशनल मामला हो गया है। तो मेरा सवाल प्रधानमंत्री जी से, और सिंपल सवाल है, प्रधानमंत्री जी आपकी फॉरेन ट्रिप्स पे अदानी जी और आप कितनी बार एक साथ गए? Adani ji, how many times did you travel together with Adani ji? How many times did Adani ji join you later on a visit? How many times did Adani ji travel to a country immediately after you did? And in how many of these countries after you visited did Adani ji get a contract? Also an important question, जरूरी सवाल, अदानी जी ने बीजेपी को पिछले 20 साल में कितने पैसे दिए हैं? इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स में कितना पैसा दिया है? Questions are posed to Prime Minister, please. Sir, खत्म करने दीजिए सर. Concluding. और बहुत सुंदर तरीके से
करिए, क्या हो रहा है सर? मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूं, राहुल जी अभी आप सीनियर एमपी हो गए हैं, आप एक सीनियर एमपी हो चुके हैं। हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि इस सदन का सदस्य होने के नाते जो भी बातें आप करेंगे गंभीरता से आप बात करेंगे। बाहर आप जो भी भाषण देते हैं हम लोग उसको रोक नहीं सकते हैं। इस सदन के अंदर में जो भी बात कही जाती है पूरा गंभीरता के साथ, प्रमाण के साथ कहे जाना चाहिए, ये परंपरा है। और राहुल जी ने कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री विदेश घूमने जाते हैं,
तो मैंने आज वो जो युवाओं ने मुझसे सवाल पूछा था कि अदानी जी की इतनी बिजनेस एक्यूमेंट कहां से आई, इतने अलग अलग सेक्टर्स में अदानी जी ने कैसे सक्सेस प्राप्त की, अदानी जी के बारे में पूरी दुनिया को स्टडी करनी चाहिए, हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी को स्टडी करनी चाहिए कि पॉलिटिक्स के बीच में और बिजनेस के बीच में कैसा रिश्ता होता है। इंडिया इज अ केस स्टडी एंड प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी शुड बी गिवन अ गोल्ड मेडल इन दिस। नाउ बहुत अच्छी तरह बीजेपी के जो पिछले स्पीकर थे उन्होंने मेरे भाषण को इंकैप्सुलेट किया मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छी तरह। आपने जो मैं सोच रहा था आपने उससे और भी अच्छी तरीके से बोल दिया। कमिंग टुगेदर इज अ बिगिनिंग, कीपिंग टुगेदर इज प्रोग्रेस, वर्किंग टुगेदर इज सक्सेस। अदानी जी एंड नरेंद्र मोदी जी, थैंक यू।
जुड़ा हुआ है, चिंता मत करो। श्रीमती कनिमोजी, माननीय सदस्य मैं आग्रह कर सकता हूं, सदन आपका है, कोई अपनी यात्रा पर चर्चा करता है, कोई करता है, अच्छी हो राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण पर चर्चा करो तो ठीक लगेगा।
ठीक है सर। ये एक बात पे चर्चा नहीं हुई है, ये अलग अलग इंडस्ट्रीज पे अलग अलग बिजनेसेस पे और इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स पे डिस्कशन हुआ है।
नहीं, एक मिनट प्लीज बैठिए। नहीं, प्लीज बैठिए। पर अपन को सदन के बाहर ये भी टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहिए कि अध्यक्ष महोदय माइक बंद कर देते हैं या हमें नहीं दिखाते, ये भी टिप्पणी करना उचित नहीं है, क्योंकि
सर अध्यक्ष जी बट रियलिटी है, आप माइक बंद कर देते हैं।
आपको आप एक मिनट प्लीज बैठे, प्लीज आप बैठिए, मैं बैठा हूं ना, प्लीज बैठिए। नहीं, मेरा है कहना, आप पूरे समय बोले, आज नहीं, आपका आप बोल लें फिर। आप पूरे ठीक है, थैंक यू। कनिमोजी जी।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the motion of thanks to the President's address. We are all proud to be here. We're all proud to be part of our Parliament, to be representatives of our people. And in the President's speech, she says that by 2047, we have to build a nation which not only embraces its glorious past, but also encompasses every golden aspect of modernity. Sir, I'd like to bring to your notice that every country, when it talks about its past, it has different pasts, different narrations of its past. The history is very different from whose point of view we look at it. So, when we talk about a glorious past, whose past are we talking about? We talk about the greatness of this nation. We talk about the valor. We talk about the art, literature, the temples, the architecture and the philosophy. But we cannot forget the people who found no space or place in history. We cannot forget the untouchables, the unseeables, and the women who were pushed into fire in the name of honor. Today we celebrate that, and I stand in this floor of this house hanging my head in shame because we had to listen to something like that. Sir, we have to understand that there is enough in this country to feel proud about, and we also have enough to be ashamed about. We have to embrace that, we have to understand that, we have to own up to that. Only then can we make amends to it. Only then can we make sure there is justice done to these people. But this government, this union government under the BJP tries to create a unitary culture promoting oneness. One nation, one ration, one nation, one tax, one nation, one market, one language, one exam, one election, one nation, one religion, one nation, one party. This is where what you're trying to lead to. But you have to understand that that will never happen.
Never.
This country has seen enough. This country has withstood enough, and our people, the people of this nation, will fight. You continue to undermine the power of the states. You continue to delegitimize the work we have done. You continue to insult us. You do not understand what a welfare state is and what freebies are. You continue to call us names, but we have set examples. We have proved that we can create models of social justice. We can create models of inclusive development, which you have miserably failed to do so. Sir, unfortunately, in 1967, when one of our leaders, Perasriyar Anbalagan, was in the Rajya Sabha, he said, in November when he spoke, he said that governors are being used as tools against states in Rajya Sabha. Perasriyar. He said that governors are being used as tools against elected governments by the union government. He said that, sir. He said it. I am just quoting him. 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 Sir, the Tamil Nadu.
Speak about collegium, you cannot speak about.
So the Tamil Nadu governor has delayed assent to around 20 bills passed by the state legislature, including crucial bills like prohibition of online gambling and regulation of online games. And it's just not Tamil Nadu which stands alone in this fight. We've seen what happened in West Bengal, Maharashtra. What happened in Maharashtra. In Kerala, the governor threatens to withdraw ministers, and in Nagaland, in Telangana. Yeah, every government which is a non-BJP government, I think we have to fight battles with the governor. But Dr. Ambedkar has rightly stated in the Constituent Assembly that the governor does not have any individual discretion and has to act according to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. I think this government, when it sends governors to states which are non-BJP states, should ask them to read the speeches of Dr. Ambedkar, or at least kindly advise them what this country stands for and what federalism is. Because you are the ones who keep talking about cooperative federalism. So you should teach them to cooperate and understand the importance of federalism. But you do not listen. You could not listen to this, Mr. Rahul Gandhi when he spoke here. You were interrupting because you're not used to listening. It is something which you don't know how to do.
Listen to sense. Listen to sense.
But and I think this year you forgot in Tiruvallur because there are no elections in Tamil Nadu. But I like to remind you, idipare illada Emara Mannan Kedupar Ilanum Kedum. Yes, I am translating because of course you did not make the attempt to learn any South Indian language. You only want to impose Hindi on us. None of you understand any South Indian language. A king without an honest critical council needs no enemies to come to ruins. So if you do not listen to what the opposition says, to what the people say, to what the press says, to what people have to say to you, then you do not need enemies to bring you to ruins. This is what the government has been curtailing the freedom of speech vehemently, both inside and outside of the parliament. And it tries to create an aura of fear in many ways. We know, with all the tools in your hands. And
Shame on your tools. Your tools, yeah. All your tools.
This government has actively diminished.
Don't get distracted.
This government, this
is not dealing. She's not dealing.
This government has actively diminished the space available for dissent, debate and discussion. Making the people voiceless does not ensure continued power, but it will create simmering discontent and resentment. You don't know when it will become into flames. You cannot rule by fear and fear alone. The president said that in her speech said that the country no longer suffers from policy paralysis. But I think it has moved to a dictatorial policy making. Sometimes I am reminded of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know whether I'm in the Parliament or in the court of the Queen of Hearts. She just needed no reason to pass a sentence. She needed no reason. She could not listen to any reason. So sometimes you feel that is where you are, in the court of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Because the government does not understand that the Parliament here is to legislate, but it believes in bulldozing all the businesses. There are no pre-consultation policies. Parliamentary committee recommendations are unheeded. And every time we have to repeat what we recommend, and still the government does not listen to us because they are not used to it. And most of the bills are not circulated to the members earlier, so there's no opportunity for the members to be able to research, read it, understand it, because you only believe in bulldozing the bills. And the number of days the Parliament functions, it's shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and I don't know. We might just have symbolic days when the Parliament will function and then we'll all be sent home.
The Prime Minister doesn't even come to the Parliament. Yes. Hardly 3 times a year.
The Honorable President also said that the World Bank report acknowledged that India was able to prevent crores of people from falling below poverty line during the COVID pandemic. But the same World Bank report also mentions that it was the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act which played a role in mitigating the impact of poverty. It is a clear indication of the success of the scheme brought by the UPA government. But during this year's budget, the allocation to Manrega scheme is lowest in the last 4 years. The previous year it was 73,000 crores. This year it is 60,000 crores. But you are very proud of poverty alleviation, and this is one of the most important schemes, and you've reduced 13,000 crores from it.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop, and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police. The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are taking place here in Jammu as well.
Opposition leaders who are protesting at this point in time. Earlier, this was a scheduled meeting of the opposition leader. They are demanding the discussion on the Adani issue. That is something, the line which has been taken by the opposition leaders. Whereas the government is of the view, government stand is that they want the presidential speech to be happen, and after that, the discussion can happen in the 0 hour. The dramatic visuals we are getting from the Jantar Mantar of the national capital. These are the Karyakartas of Indian Youth Congress, and they have been detained now. As they were protesting over here, they were crossing the barricades at the Jantar Mantar. Now they have been detained.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The police has stopped the Congress workers from coming. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Congress workers are now being detained by the Jammu and Kashmir police.
Earthquake magnitude consisted of 7.4 and it lasted for 40 seconds. A lot of buildings collapsed during first 10 seconds, and situation in southwest east of Turkey complicated by the weather. It is a snowstorm now in the area.
The Congress workers, there is a scuffle between the Congress workers and the Jammu and Kashmir police. However, the police has made it amply clear they have been denied the permission to move out from outside the Congress office, but they say that they won't stop and this is the government's failure. Despite many clarifications by the union government, the Congress seems to be in no mood of coming into the house, and that's why these massive protests are.
Let's play out what we've just heard from Rahul Gandhi in the Parliament. He, remember, was there speaking on the motion of thanks, and he ended up not just invoking Adani a number of times, but also openly lobbying for GMR and GVK in the Parliament. It's a big controversy after Rahul Gandhi actually mentioned GMR a number of times, openly batting for it. Also a self-goal that you've seen earlier, with him, comparing Yogi Adityanath to what he's calling a thug, to another self-goal that he secured for himself in the Parliament. Let's play out an excerpt of what we've heard from Rahul Gandhi a little while earlier.
उस समय मीडिया में इसके बारे में चर्चा हुई थी, रूल बदला गया और अदानी जी को 6 एयरपोर्ट्स दिए गए. After that, India's most strategic, profitable airport, Mumbai airport, was taken away by GVK, hijacked by using the agencies. The agencies को CBI, ED का प्रयोग कर GVK पर दबाव डालकर हिंदुस्तान की सरकार ने उस एयरपोर्ट को अदानी जी के हाथों में कर दिया। रिजल्ट क्या आया? रिजल्ट आया कि एयरपोर्ट्स में आज अदानी जी 24% हिंदुस्तान की एयर ट्रैफिक को अपने एयरपोर्ट से निकालते हैं और 31% एयर फ्रेट उनके एयरपोर्ट्स में से निकलता है। अब यह काम हिंदुस्तान की सरकार और हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री जी ने फैसिलिटेट किया।
We're also trying to get our colleague Abhishek for you here to essentially understand more of that story that has just broken. Rather, it's become a huge controversy where Rahul Gandhi has now landed his party in a big controversy by batting for the GMR and the GVK group in the parliament. And he's actually made 4 different references to the GVK. Also interesting is this image that you're seeing right now on the right of your screens. Do remember, as you have the opposition, including leaders like Rahul Gandhi, who've hit out at Prime Minister Modi, wanting to make a direct relation between the Adani group and the Prime Minister in particular, without any documents to substantiate that. What they also forget is that the Adani enterprise and its various subsidiaries, remember, are right now into business in 22 different states. This does include states that are run by the Congress party, including the state of Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Now, this is an image that you're seeing on the right of your screens of Ashok Gehlot with Gautam Adani not very long ago, where a question was also later asked to Rahul Gandhi about his stand and what is happening in the state of Rajasthan, where you had a red carpet welcome being accorded to Gautam Adani in the state of Rajasthan, and clearly he's ducked that question, and he continues to not just to try hit out at the government with that Adani link. What he's also done is openly lobbying for the GMR and GVK in the parliament. Like I said, 4 different references were made to the GVK group in that address that Rahul Gandhi just put out a little while earlier, where this was Rahul Gandhi speaking during the vote of thanks address, and he's made a lot of allegations, but like I said, a lot of them are unsubstantiated, and the government has insisted that Rahul Gandhi should provide proof of those allegations or he must apologize. Let's move on now to get you more details. So one more controversy that Rahul Gandhi himself has landed into. This is another self-goal. Now, he has accused the BJP of indulging in adharma in Uttar Pradesh, and he said that the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath cannot be a religious leader. In fact, what he's done, he's equated Yogi Adityanath with a thug. A sitting Chief Minister of a state, he's saying is a thug. And clearly, this is again shoot and scoot politics that we've seen the Congress indulging in again and again. One more self-goal. We play out that exact comment that has come in from Rahul Gandhi earlier.
की राजनीति है और हर चीज़ पे मेरे यहाँ पर खड़े होकर जवाब देने की ज़रूरत है नहीं, और कई लोग मेरे लिए इतने इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि मैं उनकी हर चीज़ पे जवाब दूँ। मेरा मानना है कि मेरे को अपनी पार्टी के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, उनकी पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन के बारे में बात करनी चाहिए, और किस तरीके से देश आगे बढ़े उसके बारे में बात करनी चाहिए। 140 करोड़ लोग हैं इस देश में, अगर सबके बारे में बात करना शुरू करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे।
Attacks on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Maut Ka Saudagar needs to chai bech. Now the Congress's entitled liners are attacking another constitutional position holder, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who also happens to be the Mahant of the Gorakhnath Peeth, the Gorakhnath Mutt, by saying that he is not a religious leader, ये धार्मिक नेता नहीं है, ये एक मामूली ठग है।